Welcome to Artificially Literate, the show where books, films, and big ideas meet deep thought and boundless curiosity. This is your space to reflect, learn, and maybe look at the world a little differently.
Indeed. And today we're kicking off a truly iconic deep dive. We're venturing into a story that, well, it hasn't just captivated generations, it's become a real touchstone in modern literature. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah, absolutely. And to really set the stage for exploring Harry's, very first year at Hogwarts, let's start with a line from the wise Albus Dumbledore. It kind of encapsulates the journey we're about to take. It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. Remember that.
Hmm. It sounds simple, right? From what seems like a simple tale. But it really hints at these profound currents running just beneath the surface. Today, we're doing more than just revisiting a beloved story.
Right.
We're really dissecting the philosophical ideas, the underpinnings, and the surprisingly relevant real-life implications hidden in Harry's awakening to this magical world.
So our mission for this deep dive is basically to unpack this incredible journey. You've got this young boy discovering a hidden world, and in doing that, he uncovers some startling truths. Not just about magic, actually, but about identity, courage, and, well, the whole nature of good versus evil.
Exactly.
We want to explore how the themes from this book really resonate, in our own world, even without wands or potions.
And we'll trace that path from the suffocating grip of normalcy on Privet Drive
Oh, yeah.
to the dazzling but also dangerous halls of Hogwarts. We'll watch Harry's initial, total bewilderment give way to this deeper understanding of his place in the world. Because his first year is way more than just an adventure, isn't it? It's like a crucible. It sets the stage for much bigger battles, both really personal for him and universal too.
Okay, let's dive in. And maybe the best place to start is with what most fans would call the truly unmagical beginning. The Dursleys. What always gets me isn't just that they dislike magic. It's their, almost violent dedication to normalcy. It's this whole worldview built on aggressively pushing away anything unusual.
It really is. It's more than just, preferring the mundane. It's a desperate, almost pathological suppression of anything that doesn't fit their incredibly narrow definition of proper.
Yeah.
Just think about Mr. Dursley's reactions early on. He sees owls in broad daylight, right? Cloaked figures whispering on street corners. And his immediate internal reaction isn't curiosity. It's this frantic attempt to just dismiss it, to force the world back into its predictable, safe little box. He even thinks, oh, Potter wasn't such an unusual name. He's trying to rationalize it away.
He is.
It's not just about magic. It's about a human psyche feeling, like under siege from anything that threatens its carefully built comfort zone.
That internal struggle is so revealing, isn't it? He snaps at his secretary, he almost calls home, then stops himself, tries to dismiss the name Potter. Maybe it was Harvey or Harold.
Right, anything but the truth.
And the sources show him watching that news report shooting stars, flocks of owls, while Petunia just keeps insisting it was a perfectly normal day. This act of denial, even when faced with really weird stuff, it resonates way beyond the wizarding world, doesn't it?
Oh, completely.
It really exposes that human psychological need for routine, for control, and that deep-seated fear of the unknown. How does that kind of suppression show up, in the real world?
Well, it's a profound parallel, I think. The Dursleys are like a microcosm, aren't they, of any individual or even the whole society that actively shuts out information or experiences that challenge their established worldview.
Yeah.
Their refusal to even talk about Petunia's sister Lily, Harry's mother, that's a prime example of how deep this denial runs. It's deliberate ignorance, a choice to wear blinders. This isn't just about avoiding magic. It's about avoiding anything that disrupts their comfort. And the dangers of that extreme conformity, the suppression of individuality, they're laid bare right there. Their normalcy isn't just boring, it's a prison they've built, not just for Harry, but for themselves too.
That's a great way to put it.
It's a cage of fear and prejudice, and Mr. Dursley's constant creeping unease. It's a reminder that suppressing truth takes immense energy, and ultimately, it just doesn't work. That fear he feels, if it got out that they were related to a pair of, he didn't think he could bear it. That says everything about how fragile that life built on denial really is.
And that fragility leads us right to the unavoidable truth, basically personified by Hagrid just smashing his way in. Harry's life before this point is just miserable, defined by deprivation, neglect.
Utterly.
Sleeping in a cupboard under the stairs, small, skinny, wearing Dudley's cast-offs. His only unique thing is that lightning scar. And the Dursleys' attempts to escape those letters, They get more and more desperate, ending up in that shack on a rock. It's almost funny, but also really sad.
It is comical in its desperation, yeah.
Yeah.
But also heartbreaking.
Yeah.
They're so desperate to keep up the illusion of normalcy, to shield themselves from even a whisper of magic. But then, Harry's 11th birthday arrives. And Sam
Yeah.
swanches.
Yeah.
The door of the shack just gets hit with such force, it swings clean off its hinges. And this giant figure, Hagrid, stands there, literally smashing through their fake reality. It's such a powerful symbolic moment.
Totally.
The breaking down of that door is Harry's literal and metaphorical entry into a new, inescapable truth.
Absolutely. And the contrast is immediate. It's stark. The Dursleys have treated him cruelly for years, like he's something very nasty that couldn't understand them, like a slug. Hagrid, though, he immediately shows warmth, care, offers him a birthday cake, squashed, but still. And then the bombshell revelation.
Yeah.
His true identity as a wizard, the real story of his parents' death by Voldemort, and his own fame as the boy who lived. Hagrid's line, just so direct. Harry, yet a wizard. It just shatters everything Harry thought he knew about himself, about his past, turns a decade of lies completely upside down.
And the implications there are huge. They really resonate with big questions about identity, destiny. Think about it. Harry, who's lived this life of neglect, feeling completely worthless, suddenly learns he's famous, special, a survivor of this attack by the darkest wizard ever. It's an almost unimaginable shift.
Yeah, it must be overwhelming.
Almost disorienting, I'd imagine. Even his accidental magic, the zoo glass vanishing, his hair growing back, instantly things the Dursleys punish him for now suddenly make perfect sense. It's part of his true nature, something undeniable. It just highlights the incredible power of truth to dismantle years of lies and completely redefine who you are.
So from that desolate shack, Harry takes his first, awe-inspiring step into this hidden world. Hagrid brings him to Diagon Alley, and it's just pure wonder, overwhelm.
It has to be.
The contrast between mundane Muggle London and this bustling, vibrant, magical society hidden right there in plain sight. It's incredible. And then he discovers his inheritance at Gringotts Bank. This small fortune buried deep under London.
In that moment in the Leaky Cauldron, before they even get to the alley proper, when everyone suddenly recognizes him, greets Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
That's so pivotal. He's never been recognized for anything positive. Ever.
Right.
Just for being weird or a burden. Suddenly he's a celebrity, shaking hands with Daedalus Diggle and Doris Crockford.
Yeah.
It must be so overwhelming. He even admits it to Hagrid later, right? Everyone thinks I'm special, but I don't know anything about magic at all.
Yeah, how can they expect great things?
Exactly. I'm famous and I can't even remember what I'm famous for. And this whole concept of hidden economies, hidden societies existing right alongside ours, unseen, that's core to the world's magic. But think about what it means for Harry specifically, suddenly having immense wealth after a life of total poverty and emotional neglect. It's not just money. It's a sudden, profound shift in power dynamics for him. And it also raises questions, about trust, guidance. Entering this totally unfamiliar territory, Harry, just a kid, has to put his complete trust in Hagrid, this huge, imposing figure he barely knows.
Which leads us to arguably one of the most iconic defining moments of Harry's entire journey. The wand choosing the wizard.
Ollivanders, yes.
At Ollivanders, we get introduced to this unique, almost mystical process. The wand itself has a say in who owns it. Harry tries a few, nothing feels right, until he picks up the one made of holly and phoenix feather.
And this is where we get a huge revelation. It immediately brings in the theme of destiny, this inherent, almost fated connection between two powerful figures, even antagonists.
Right.
Harry's wand is a brother to Voldemort's wand. Both have a feather from the same phoenix. And Mr. Ollivander says it, doesn't he? The wand chooses the wizard, remember? Is very curious indeed that you should be destined for this wand when its brother, its brother gave you that scar. It's not just a quirky detail. It's a profound statement about how good and evil are intertwined. And the idea that certain objects, certain paths are sort of meant for us, beyond just simple choice.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it, in our own lives?
Yeah.
How much is really our choice? And how much is influenced by circumstances, by connections we don't fully grasp, maybe some guiding force? The idea that Harry and Voldemort are linked right from the start, even through their wands, it's both chilling and deeply profound. It's not just about Harry being special. It's about the immense, complex weight of that uniqueness and the dark connection that comes with it.
Yeah. It reminds us that our earliest experiences, even traumatic ones, like the attack that gave Harry his scar, can just irrevocably shape our path in ways we never see coming, binding us to fates we didn't choose.
So, from the hidden wonders of Diagon Alley, Harry moves to the next crucial stage, the Hogwarts Express. He has that moment of panic at King's Cross, can't find platform 9 3/4.
By total confusion.
But then he's lucky enough to literally bump into the Weasley family, this big, boisterous, welcoming group. And that encounter is immediate and just utterly pivotal, isn't it?
Absolutely pivotal. It's right there that the foundational trio really starts to form. Harry's first interactions with Ron, their shared wonder over Bertie Bott's, every flavor beans, chocolate frogs, immediate shyness, but also connection. And then Hermione arrives. Initially, maybe a little apprehension there on both sides.
A bit, yeah.
But the train journey also introduces Draco Malfoy, who immediately shows his classism, his pure blood prejudice, sneering at the Weasleys for having more children than they can afford.
Yeah.
It instantly sets up that core dynamic.
Yeah.
Friendship versus rivalry. That's going to define Harry's time at Hogwarts.
It's such a masterclass in character introduction and world building, too. You see how shared vulnerability, this shared journey into the unknown, can forge these incredibly strong bonds, especially when you contrast it with Harry's lonely, isolated upbringing. Ron and Hermione represent that comfort, that strength you find in immediate kinship. They fill a void Harry probably didn't even realize he had. And Malfoy's appearance immediately flags up the social hierarchies, the prejudices that exist even in the wizarding world. It forces Harry to quickly figure out where he stands.
It does. It forces him to consider right away the company he wants to keep, how he defines himself in this new, complicated place. He understands pretty quickly that Malfoy's disdain for Muggleborns and blood traders, that's not something he wants anything to do with. Even though Malfoy makes that initial offer of, guidance, Harry chooses to stand with Ron, and later Hermione. And that starts defining his character right from the get-go. Not by his fame or his legacy, but by his values.
And this theme of choice, of identity, continues so powerfully with the Sorting Hat ceremony.
Oh yeah, the Sorting Hat.
The Hat song lays out the traits for each house. Gryffindor for the brave, Hufflepuff for the just and loyal, Ravenclaw for the witty and learned, and Slytherin for the cunning and ambitious. And Harry's internal struggle while he's being sorted, you can really feel it.
It's palpable. He's heard Hagrid's warnings about Slytherin, right? There's not a single witch or wizard who went bad who wasn't in Slytherin. You know who was one?
Oh.
And he's just had that run-in with Malfoy.
Exactly.
So he's torn. Because the Hat sees his potential, sees his nerve, his cunning, traits that can easily put him in Slytherin. It even mentions his thirst to prove himself. But Harry, remembering the evil connected to that house, he pleads silently, not Slytherin, not Slytherin. And this is maybe one of the earliest, most profound moments where Harry exercises his free will, his conscious choice, even over what the Hat sees as his inherent abilities. That determines his path.
Yeah.
It really asks us, are we defined by our innate talents or by the choices we make?
And his eventual placement in Gryffindor, along with Ron and Hermione, it just cements their bond. It gives Harry this developing sense of belonging, which is so huge because it emphasizes that courage isn't just about facing external threats. It's also about self-knowledge, integrity, choosing who you want to be, even when faced with expectation or, perceived destiny.
Right. It powerfully highlights that tension between inherent traits and conscious choice in defining your path. And it immediately shapes the social dynamics, too. You get these instant tribes, these communities based on perceived values, inspiring fierce loyalties right away.
Yeah.
The weight of reputation, inherited legacy, especially with Voldemort being Slytherin, adds layers to Harry's decision.
Yeah.
But we should also mention Neville Longbottom's sorting.
Oh, good point.
Despite all his initial fear, his clumsiness, the Hat ultimately puts him in Gryffindor, too, for his deep, quiet courage. A trait that's going to show up in really unexpected, profound ways later on. It reminds us that bravery isn't always loud or obvious.
So true. So once sorted, Harry dives into early Hogwarts life. It's this mix of wonder, discovery, but also immediate challenges. He starts classes: history of magic, transfiguration, potions.
And it's in Potions with Professor Snape, where he first encounters this truly unsettling hostility directed right at him.
Yeah, it's immediate.
It's almost visceral, isn't it?
Yeah.
From Snape's very first words, he singles Harry out, calls him our new celebrity, then immediately hammers him with these obscure questions about Asphodel and Wormwood, knowing full well Harry couldn't possibly know the answers.
Right. setting him up to fail.
Exactly. It establishes that adversarial relationship instantly, and Harry even feels that sharp, painful jolt in his scar when Snape's around, linking Snape mysteriously to Voldemort somehow. It introduces the complexity of Snape's character right away. This perceived hatred hiding deeper, ambiguous motivations that really drive the mystery of the stone.
And you see the contrasting teaching styles, too. Professor McGonagall in Transfiguration is stern, yes, but fair. She rewards Hermione for turning her match into a needle. Professor Quirrell, though, teaching defense against the dark arts. He's nervous, seems kind of ineffective, and his classroom smells strongly of garlic.
Yeah, not exactly confidence-inspiring.
Right. It immediately shows Harry that learning isn't just about the subject matter. It's about the environment, the teacher, the inherent challenges you face, even in a magical school.
But the moment that really solidifies the trio's bond, the thing that transforms them from just acquaintances into basically inseparable friends, is the troll incident during Halloween.
Oh, yeah, the troll in the dungeon.
Hermione, she's upset after Ron made that unkind comment about her being a know-it-all.
She's a nightmare, honestly.
Right. So she's crying in the girls' bathroom when Quirrell bursts in, shouting about a troll in the dungeons. Harry and Ron realize she doesn't know, she's in danger. They break rules to go find her, and they're forced to work together. Harry's bravery, Ron's quick thinking using Wingardium Leviosa to levitate the troll's own club.
Brilliant moment.
And Hermione's intelligence, her logic, to ultimately defeat this huge, lumbering creature.
And that moment afterwards where Hermione then lies to Professor McGonagall to cover for Harry and Ron, that's a huge turning point for their friendship.
Absolutely.
McGonagall is furious, but Hermione takes the blame. Miss Granger, you foolish girl, how could you think of tackling a mountain troll on your own? It's this display of loyalty that just cements their teamwork, signals this deep, unspoken bond.
Yeah. It really underscores that powerful idea. Challenges, shared danger, they can forge unexpected alliances, reveal true character, and strengthen bonds that might have seemed superficial or even antagonistic just moments before.
We're taking a deep dive into Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone right here on Artificially Literate. If you're enjoying our conversation and you want to keep exploring complex ideas, make sure you follow us. You can find Artificially Literate on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
And as we continue with Harry and his friends, grappling with this new reality, these unexpected challenges, we're reminded of a really powerful insight into what courage actually is.
Yeah.
It's not just about facing monsters or these huge evils. It's about the bravery needed in everyday life, in those quiet moments of integrity, as Dumbledore himself says later on. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to our friends.
Such a good quote.
And it seems simple, but it highlights this profound shift in understanding that comes with growth, with genuine connection. It's about choosing principles over popularity. A lesson Harry, Ron, and Hermione really start learning in this very first year. And that quote perfectly tees up the next stage, doesn't it? The escalating mystery of the Sorcerer's Stone. As the year goes on, Harry gets that unexpected Christmas gift.
The invisibility cloak.
His father's invisibility cloak, and using it, he stumbles upon the Mirror of Arise, this magical artifact that shows him his deepest desire. And what he sees, it's his family, his parents, grandparents, all smiling, waving at him.
Oh, heartbreaking.
It's incredibly powerful, isn't it? This aching vision of what he longs for most. A stark reminder of his lost past, his deepest emotional needs.
And in such stark contrast, when Ron looks in the mirror, he sees himself as head boy, Quidditch captain, holding the house cup, the Quidditch cup. It highlights this fundamental difference, right, between Harry's selfless longing for family and Ron's more maybe conventional ambitions for recognition, achievement within their world.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And then Dumbledore appears, explains the mirror's true nature. It shows the deepest, most desperate desire of our hearts. But he gives that crucial warning, too. It does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. Remember that.
Crucial wisdom.
It's this profound philosophical exploration, really, about desire itself, its potential to either consume us or maybe guide us. The mirror is powerful for self-reflection, sure, but it's also a dangerous trap, tempting you to live in an idealized past or some fictional future, losing touch with right now.
Yeah.
And Dumbledore's role as mentor is so critical here, offering wisdom that's sometimes cryptic, almost Zen-like. When Harry asks what he sees in the mirror.
His answer about the socks.
Exactly. I see myself holding a pair of thick woolen socks. One can never have enough socks. It's funny, but also, as the text implies, probably not the whole truth.
Probably not.
Maybe it's a lesson in humility, or perhaps a subtle nod to some deeper unspoken sorrow or longing of his own. It just adds to Dumbledore's mystique, reminds us that even the wisest figures carry their own burdens.
And that wisdom from Dumbledore kind of carries through as the central mystery really starts heating up.
Mm.
Harry's nightmares return. That flash of green light, the high, cold, cruel laugh.
Right, unsettling.
It prompts the trio to investigate further what is really going on with these attempts to steal the Sorcerer's Stone. And it's Hermione, isn't it? Through her relentless curiosity, her research literally sprinting to the library, finding that enormous old book who makes the breakthrough, she figures out Nicholas Flamel is the only known maker of the stone.
That revelation about the Sorcerer's Stone just raises the stakes immensely. It grants not just immortality, but the power to tune any metal into pure gold. So it introduces that profound human desire to cheat death. And it forces us to think about the moral implications of having that kind of power. Hermione's role here is absolutely crucial. She shows the immense power of knowledge, of collective inquiry to solve complex problems.
Yeah, she really drives the investigation.
It underscores the idea that even seemingly random clues, like a chocolate frog card, can lead to major breakthroughs if you combine them with diligent research. And Flamel himself, 665 years old, he embodies that pursuit of eternal life.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if such a life is truly desirable, you know?
Definitely. And their journey to unravel this mystery is anything but smooth. The next big challenge comes from Hagrid's well-intentioned recklessness.
Oh, Norbert.
Yes. Leading to maybe one of the most stressful times for the trio. He illegally hatches a dragon, a Norwegian ridgeback named Norbert, right there in his wooden hut.
Crazy.
Ron gets a nasty poisoned bite. His hand swells up twice its usual size, which of course gives Draco Malfoy the perfect chance to try and expose them.
Hagrid's protective thing over Norbert, he's only a baby after all. It clashes so intensely with the severe consequences of him breaking major wizarding laws.
Yeah.
The trio manages the plan to send Norbert off to Charlie Weasley's friends in Romania using the invisibility cloak. But Harry and Hermione get caught coming back without it.
Right. Detention.
Detention, which leads them into the Forbidden Forest. And the forest itself is unsettling. It's a place of ancient wisdom, yes, but also lurking evil. And there they find that truly horrifying scene. A dead unicorn, its blood silvery, and they encounter a cloaked figure drinking its blood.
It's such a chilling scene, deeply unsettling, and the implications are just dire. Ferenz, the centaur, saves Harry and reveals the dark magic involved with unicorn blood. He says, only one who has nothing to lose and everything to gain would commit such a crime. The blood of a unicorn will keep you alive even if you are an inch from death, but at a terrible price.
A terrible price.
You have slain something pure and defenseless to save yourself, and you will have but a half-life, a cursed life, from the moment the blood touches your lips. Wow. That statement just underscores the ultimate price of power, of survival, when you get it through corruption.
And it tells Harry, without saying the name, that Voldemort is still out there clinging to some kind of parasitic existence.
Definitely. That encounter clearly confirms Harry's suspicions about Voldemort being involved. The pain in Harry's scar described as being on fire. When the hooded figure looks at him, it reinforces that terrifying, intimate connection between them.
Yeah. And this whole sequence, it also further blurs those lines between good and bad, doesn't it? In this world of complex motivations, you've got Snape, who apparently hates Harry, but muttered a counter-curse during the Quidditch match that saved him.
Right, they thought he was cursing him.
Exactly. And Hagrid's actions, well-intentioned, but incredibly reckless. It teaches Harry early on that things are rarely just black and white.
Which all culminates in that thrilling race against time, through the trapdoor under Fluffy, the three-headed dog.
The gauntlet.
The trio decides they have to go after the stone themselves. They're convinced Snape is trying to steal it, though, we find out later it was actually Quirrell. But this whole sequence, it isn't just plot. It's a brilliant culmination of everything they've learned, their newfound courage, a true test of their individual strengths and how they work together.
It really is a gauntlet, designed to test a whole range of abilities. They get past Fluffy using music, which Hagrid accidentally lets slip. They navigate the Devil's Snare, that plant that constricts them using logic and light. Hermione's quick thinking saves them there.
Definitely.
Harry Seeker's skills shine when he catches the right flying key among hundreds. Ron's strategic mind is absolutely crucial in the giant chess game.
Sacrificing himself.
Sacrificing himself so Harry and Hermione can go on. And finally, Hermione's sharp intellect solves Snape's complex potions riddle, leaving Harry to face the true villain alone. The whole sequence just beautifully shows how diverse talents, how a collaborative spirit are essential for success, much more than just individual skill.
And the revelation when Harry gets through, it's astounding. He confronts Quirrell only to discover Voldemort is parasitically living on the back of Quirrell's head.
So creepy.
It's terrifying, this intimate connection between Harry and his nemesis, literally face to face with the being who murdered his parents. But here's where it gets really interesting. Harry ultimately defeats them, using the profound power of his mother's love, her protection.
Yes, Dumbledore explains it later on. Your mother died to save you. If there is one thing Voldemort cannot understand, it is love. That sacrificial act left this protective mark on Harry, making Quirrell's touch, because Voldemort was sharing his body, agony for him.
Amazing.
It's the ultimate triumph, unity, love, over individual prowess and hatred. The diverse talents of the trio, Harry's bravery, Ron's loyalty and strategy, Hermione's intelligence and logic, they aren't just complementary. They're essential for them to succeed. It profoundly reinforces that idea. Our greatest strengths can come from love, connection, selflessness, not just raw power or dark magic. It shows the resilience of the human spirit against overwhelming evil and the enduring, almost mystical impact of parental sacrifice.
So as the school year finally draws to a close, we see the true victory isn't just beating Voldemort, but the victory of friendship and courage. It manifests in the House Cup ceremony.
The final feast.
At the end of year feast, it looks like Slytherin has won the House Cup, 7th year in a row. The Great Hall is all decked out in green and silver, but Dumbledore, with his characteristic flair, has a few last-minute points to award. It transforms everything.
He does. He gives 50 points to Ron for the best-played game of chess Hogwarts has seen in many years, acknowledging not just skill, but strategy sacrifice.
Yeah.
50 points to Hermione for the use of cool logic in the face of fire. Recognizing her intelligence, her quick thinking under pressure, Harry, for his pure nerve and outstanding courage, gets 60 points, which brings Gryffindor to a tie with Slytherin. But the most important award, I think, is still to come. It speaks volumes about that quiet bravery that often goes unnoticed.
Here's where it gets really interesting, and I think this is such a crucial lesson from the book. Dumbledore then awards 10 points to Neville Longbottom,
Yes.
declaring there are all kinds of courage. It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to our enemies, but just as much to stand up to your friends.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful, pivotal moment, recognizing Neville's bravery in trying to stop the trio from breaking rules earlier, even though it meant standing against his new friends. And boom, Gryffindor wins the House Cup. The Great Hall decorations magically switch from green and silver to Gryffindor's scarlet and gold.
That resolution just beautifully emphasizes that true victory isn't only about defeating external evil. It's about building community, celebrating diverse kinds of courage, from the dramatic stuff to the quietly principled actions, the power of integrity, and that profound emotional gift from Hagrid at the very end, the photo album filled with pictures of Harry's parents. It connects Harry to his lost past, gives him this source of comfort, belonging, reinforces that heroism comes in many forms, often quietly. And that connection can be the greatest healing force.
Yeah.
And as this incredible first year closes, that one phrase from Hermione just kind of echoes, doesn't it? Capturing the essence of the journey, the lessons learned. Books and cleverness. There are more important things, friendship and bravery. And, oh, Harry, be careful.
Yeah.
Reminds us, knowledge is power, sure. But it's the human connections, the courage to act on our convictions that truly define us. #tag outro.
And so our deep dive into Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone comes to a close. Wow, what an incredible journey back into that world of magic, mystery, and profound human lessons.
Indeed. It holds up, doesn't it? And as we reflect on Harry's first year, we're left with that potent reminder from Dumbledore's words, a sentiment that resonates really deeply with, I think, the core of our show's curiosity about life's great mysteries. To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure.
A thought to ponder. Well, thank you for joining us on Artificially Literate. We really hope this deep dive offered you some new insights, or maybe just left you with plenty to think about.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed this exploration, please be sure to check out our other deep dives. You can find them wherever you get your favorite shows. Follow Artificially Literate for more thought-provoking discussions on books, films, and the ideas that shape our world.
And for those of you who can't wait to see what adventures await Harry, Ron, and Hermione next, well, stay tuned. Our next deep dive will plunge right into the second book of the Harry Potter universe.
Looking forward to that one.
Me too. Until then, remember, Feed your brain, starve your inner fool.
Welcome to Artificially Literate. This is your space, really, where books, films, ideas, they all kind of meet deep thought and, well, curiosity. Every deep dive we do here is custom tailored for you, the curious learner. We explore these compelling narratives. We try to dissect their philosophical layers and, pull out those surprising nuggets of knowledge that maybe help you look at the world just a little differently. Today, we're plunging back into a world that's just brimming with magic, mystery, and some pretty profound truths, actually. We're revisiting a book that shaped so many of our childhoods, I think, but maybe one we haven't truly dissected until now. We are opening the pages of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and we want to start our exploration today with a quote, one that perfectly encapsulates the journey we're about to take within this story. It's a line that really resonates, I find, long after you close the book. It is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities.
That line from Dumbledore,
No.
it's incredibly powerful, isn't it? It really sets the stage for everything we're about to explore, because this isn't just a children's story about, a secret chamber and a scary monster. It's this rich tapestry woven with themes that are still so enduring, themes that resonate deeply today. It really offers these profound aha moments about courage, yes, but also about the insidious nature of prejudice and, crucially, the true meaning of self-definition.
Absolutely. So our mission for this deep dive is to pull out those important insights. We want to connect the literal events of Harry's second year at Hogwarts to these larger philosophical ideas and, maybe surprisingly, the real-life implications that are incredibly relevant in our world right now. So let's unravel the layers of this fantastic narrative.
The beginning, a summer of isolation and a cryptic warning.
Okay, so our journey opens, and it's about as unmagical as you can get. Privet Drive, Harry is trapped. His magical tools, his spell books, his wand, robes, even his Nimbus 2000 broomstick, they're all locked away. In a cupboard under the stairs again, and his 12th birthday. Completely ignored by the Dursleys. They're far more concerned with Uncle Vernon's big business dinner.
Right, the Masons are coming. Harry's existence is just an inconvenience to that.
Exactly. It's such a stark picture of confinement versus the freedom he tasted at Hogwarts. He literally has a constant stomachache from missing the castle, the feasts, his friends, Quidditch, everything.
And the Dursleys themselves, these staunch muggles, their fear and suppression of anything magical is just extreme, to the point where Harry is forbidden from even uttering the M word, magic.
Yeah, it's palpable, that fear.
It really is.
Yeah.
And this opening, it immediately establishes this central, profound tension, doesn't it? This deep human desire we all have for belonging, for self-expression, versus the forces, external or sometimes internal, that try to control or even erase our identity. Harry's longing for Hogwarts, a place where he actually belongs, where he's celebrated for who he is. It just starkly contrasts with the Dursleys' relentless effort to make him, well, invisible.
Pretend he's not there. That's their approach.
Precisely. And it's not just physical confinement. It's emotional. It's psychological. What does that do to someone's sense of self-worth when your very identity is actively denied, almost gaslighted away? It forces us, I think, to consider that stark difference between an environment that embraces you and one that rejects you, pushes you into the metaphorical cupboard.
And it's right into this suffocating atmosphere that this, well, truly peculiar character just bursts onto the scene, bringing a warning that completely shakes up Harry's already pretty miserable summer.
Dobby. His entrance is just unforgettable.
Utterly bizarre. Yeah, we get this description. Large bat-like ears and bulging green eyes the size of tennis balls.
Yeah.
But that's almost immediately overshadowed by his frantic, desperate behavior, isn't it?
Oh, completely. He's this tiny, enslaved creature, and he's constantly punishing himself, banging his head on the window, threatening to shut his ears in the oven door. It's chilling.
It really is. It's like this portrayal of internalized oppression. He thinks he deserves punishment for any independent thought.
Even when that thought is benevolent, like trying to protect Harry. He talks about speaking ill of his family, the wizard family he's bound to serve forever.
And his warning is so urgent, so cryptic. There's a plot at Hogwarts. Harry Potter must not put himself in peril. He's too important.
And his method for protecting Harry, stopping his mail from Ron and Hermione, which of course leads to
The pudding incident. Aunt Petunia's masterpiece ruined. Chaos ensues.
What's truly fascinating about Dobby, though, is how he embodies this profound loyalty, but also self-sacrifice taken to an almost disturbing extreme. His actions seem destructive, sure, but his motives are fundamentally pure, driven by this deep, albeit completely misguided, care for Harry's safety.
It does make you think, doesn't it, about desperate measures, how often they come from good intentions, but the consequences are just chaotic.
Exactly. And Dobby's very existence, it highlights these deep ethical dilemmas around forced servitude. He's bound to serve one house and one family forever, yet he's actively rebelling against their presumed will because he thinks it's the right thing to do.
There's a real irony there, the servant showing a stronger moral compass than the masters.
A powerful irony, yes. It exposes the cruelty and corruption inherent in a system built on involuntary servitude. He's the victim who's internalized the oppressor's narrative, but still manages to act on his own sense of right and wrong. It makes his journey so complex.
Dobby's chaotic intervention, though well-intentioned, definitely underscores the danger Harry's in. But it's that chaos that actually paves the way for a different kind of chaos, the rescue.
Ah, yes. The legendary rule-breaking rescue. Pure friendship in action.
Just when things look bleakest, bars on the window, total isolation. There's this flash of light.
Yeah.
And it's Fred and George Weasley and their dad's enchanted flying Ford Anglia.
Ron's there too, obviously frustrated Harry hasn't been answering his letters thanks to Dobby.
And the Ministry's already sent a warning about underage magic. But they don't care. They tie a rope to the car, pull the bars clean off the window.
Yeah.
Such an audacious, wonderful moment.
It really is, and the contrast is just so stark, isn't it? Between the Dursleys' cold, calculated neglect and the Weasleys' immediate, impulsive, rule-breaking intervention, all driven by genuine concern. Friendship.
Absolutely. It's not just a physical escape. It's this transition from indifference to, well, warmth, acceptance.
It powerfully highlights the strength of found family, you know? Relationships built on choice, loyalty, love, not just blood. The Weasleys really show the lengths friends will go to for each other. It's a radical act of liberation, literal and emotional.
And arriving at the Burrow,
Mm-hmm.
their home, that's just as significant, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. The Burrow itself is amazing.
This incredible crooked house looks like it's held up by magic, which, Harry notes, it probably is.
Right. And you have Mrs. Weasley, who's initially furious as saber-toothed tiger about the flying car.
Understandably.
But then she immediately switches to warmth and concern for Harry. I'm very pleased to see you, Harry, dear.
And Arthur Weasley, with his absolute fascination for Muggle artifacts, shrinking keys, biting kettles.
It's wonderful. Even their family clock. No numbers, just things like time to make tea, time to feed the chickens.
It's chaotic, it's a bit messy, maybe, but it's undeniably full of life and love.
And that's the point, isn't it? It paints such a vibrant picture of what a true home feels like. Warmth, generous food, real family connection, unconditional acceptance, even if there's yelling and magical chaos. It emphasizes that love and belonging aren't tied to wealth or perfect order or social status. The Burrow is rich in spirit.
A direct counterpoint to the Dursleys' sterile place.
Exactly. And it subtly, but powerfully, introduces this idea of the Weasley way versus the Malfoy way. It's a fundamental contrast in values, prejudice, class, morality that becomes absolutely central to the story. True worth isn't about gold, it's about heart.
The middle unraveling the mystery and confronting prejudices.
So the summer ends, inevitably, and what should be a simple return to Hogwarts? Well, it turns into another adventure. Thanks to some flu powder misdirection, Harry takes a wrong turn.
A very wrong turn, right into Nocturne Alley.
Yeah, instead of Diagon Alley. And this place is dark, dingy, lined with these sinister shops. Porgian Burke's is the main where he sees, selling truly unsettling stuff. A withered hand, blood-stained cards, shrunken heads, rusty, spiked things.
Not exactly Ollivanders, is it?
Not at all. And while he's hiding, he overhears Lucius Malfoy discussing selling off some dark arts stuff. And Malfoy makes these dismissive remarks about wonderful Potter. You get that immediate sense of menace.
Like, finally, Hagrid finds him. Good old Hagrid, steering him back to Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
But that brief glimpse into that world, Nocturne Alley, it leaves an impression. It really establishes this darker underbelly of the wizarding world.
Yeah, it's not all cauldrons and owls.
No. It's a shadow economy, a morally ambiguous space. It highlights the dangerous connections of families like the Malfoys. It suggests that not all magic is light and good, and wealth certainly doesn't equal virtue here. It definitely foreshadows the lurking evil that's about to emerge at Hogwarts, and how deeply enmeshed powerful families are in it.
Hagrid finding him so easily there, it feels like a different kind of magic, doesn't it? More grounded?
Yeah, grounded practicality, a deep connection to the raw, unfiltered magical world. It's a sharp contrast to the polished facades of the elite wizarding families.
And this unsettling encounter, it sort of sets the stage for another key character. Someone who, despite his massive fame, is going to prove much more of a hindrance than a help.
Ah, Gilderoy Lockhart.
His entrance at Flourish and Blocks is just pure theater, isn't it? So self-aggrandizing. Claims Harry only came for his autobiography, Magical Me, immediately announces himself as the new defense against the dark arts teacher.
And it's instantly clear his priorities are signed photos and personal fame, not actual teaching.
He's won Witch Weekly's Most Charming Smile Award 5 times. Apparently that's qualification enough.
Lockhart serves as this crucial, almost satirical foil, doesn't he? He represents the dangers of pure superficiality, false pretense, the cult of celebrity.
He really forces you to question the difference between perceived ability and genuine skill.
And in our world today, with image and social media often outweighing substance, Lockhart feels disturbingly relevant. He's all flash, no substance.
The charismatic void.
Exactly. And the consequences of relying on someone like that, especially in a role meant to defend against dark forces, well, they become painfully clear later. It also highlights a deeper issue, maybe. The wizarding world's desperation to fill that jinx defense post makes them susceptible to empty promises. Like society swayed by charisma in a crisis.
Makes you wonder how often we mistake confidence for competence, right?
All the time.
So once they're actually at Hogwarts, that uneasy calm just evaporates. The attacks begin. Starts with the chilling discovery of Filch's cat, Mrs. Norris, found petrified.
And that message scrawled on the wall in what looks like blood.
The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the air, beware. Shivers.
And Draco Malfoy immediately points the finger. At Harry, but also with that awful slur.
You'll be next, mudbloods. It's vicious.
And Hermione, true to form, hits the books. Frantically researching the legend of the chamber, she discovers the story of Salazar Slytherin, his supposed true heir, and this hidden monster intended to
purge the school of all who were unworthy to study magic. That's where the core conflict of prejudice just slams into you.
Precisely. It's not just a background theme anymore. It's the driving, malevolent force behind the attacks. That mudblood slur is central. It's vile, dehumanizing, stripping people of worth based purely on lineage. This idea of purity.
It's disturbing.
Deeply. And what's fascinating is how these historical narratives, Slytherin's ancient discriminatory beliefs, can be twisted, revived, weaponized generations later to justify hate, exclusion, violence. It happens in any society, doesn't it? Think about how us versus them narratives are built in our own world.
Using perceived purity of race or nationality or whatever.
Exactly. To justify discrimination. It's an uncomfortable truth. Long-dead prejudices can have devastating real-world consequences when someone powerful revives them. The fear of the unworthy, the impure, it easily leads to attempts to purge, creating this environment of division and terror.
And that tension just skyrockets during the dueling club, doesn't it?
Oh, the dueling club, Lockhart's brilliant idea.
Where Harry's unknown ability, Parseltongue, suddenly puts him under intense, chilling suspicion. During that duel with Malfoy, he speaks to the snake Malfoy conjured, trying to stop it attacking Justin Finch-Fletchley, but he does it in Parseltongue, unknowingly.
And Ron and Hermione's reactions? They aren't just surprised, they're genuinely horrified.
Yeah, because the revelation comes. Parseltongue is the mark of a dark wizard, a trait of Salazar Slytherin himself.
For suddenly, everyone suspects Harry is the heir. It's a shocking twist for Harry, who had no idea.
It's such a pivotal moment for Harry, for the reader. This ability, maybe even fascinating, suddenly has these dark, terrifying implications. Why?
Purely due to historical association and public perception. It throws up that profound question of identity, doesn't it? Are we defined by birth, our abilities, or ultimately our choices?
Harry's internal struggle is so real. He knows he's not the heir, but how it looked, how it sounded.
And the fact that Justin Finch-Fletchley, a muggle-born who openly suspected Harry, then gets petrified himself.
It just fuels the fear, deepens Harry's isolation.
It shows how fear of the unknown, especially linked to something historically dark, can just override logic, turn people against someone proven to be good. It illustrates how easily your own nature can be weaponized against you. An innocent trait becomes a mark of guilt.
So with all this suspicion swirling around him, the trio decides they need answers. Drastic answers.
Time for some serious rule-breaking. Led by Hermione, surprisingly.
Yeah, Hermione showing incredible determination and a rare willingness to bend the rules for what she sees as a greater cause. She comes up with the plan. Gru Polyjuice Potion.
A highly complex, dangerous potion.
Their goal: transform into Crabbe and Goyle, infiltrate the Slytherin common room, and question Malfoy directly.
Requires ingredients from the restricted section. Needs Lockhart's signature, which he gives, thinking is for him.
And Hermione's conviction here is so telling. Her moral compass is clear. She says something like,
I don't want to break rules, you know. I don't think threatening Muggledorns is far worse than brewing up a difficult potion.
exactly. There's a hierarchy of morality for her.
The infiltration. Well, has a slight hiccup. Poor Hermione in the cat hair.
Right. She ends up half cat in the hospital wing. But Harry and Ron, as Crabbe and Goyle, they do talk to Malfoy.
And what do they learn? Malfoy confirms his father's involved in dark arts stuff, hints about a secret chamber at Malfoy Manor, but crucially, denies knowing who currently opened the chamber. He even seems to know what he doesn't know.
And chillingly expresses hope that Hermione is the next victim.
That whole sequence, it really highlights the ends justify the means dilemma, doesn't it? And the courage it takes to challenge norms for a greater good.
Hermione, the ultimate rule follower, breaking 50 school rules because the alternative, doing nothing about the attacks, is unthinkable to her.
It shows some rules are more important than others. Protecting life trumps school regulations. And Malfoy, his casual cruelty, wishing Hermione harm, it's not just childish spite. It's a window into his deeply ingrained prejudice, learned bigotry.
It also suggests that even those close to the darkness, like the Malfoys, might not be pulling all the strings here.
Right. They're involved, yes, but maybe not the masterminds behind the chamber attacks specifically. Layers of deception, manipulation. It makes you wonder how much ignorance, even among those adjacent to dark forces, allows those forces to keep operating.
Definitely food for thought. Okay, with the mystery deepening and danger escalating, maybe this is a good moment just to remind all you curious minds out there. If you're enjoying this deep dive into Artificially Literate, make sure you follow us wherever you get your podcasts. You can find Artificially Literate on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also on YouTube. Don't miss out on any of our future explorations.
Okay, so as we move from suspicion towards really imminent danger, let's hold on to another powerful quote from the book, one that feels incredibly relevant to the fear-gripping Hogwarts. Fear of a name only increases fear of the thing itself.
The end, the truth revealed, and triumph of choice.
So the attacks ramp up. It's not just students like Colin Creevey and Justin Finch-Fletchley anymore. Even a ghost, nearly headless Nick, gets petrified. Which shouldn't even be possible, right?
Right. How do you petrify something already dead? It just shows how powerful and strange this magic is.
And the school descends into what the book calls real panic. There's a stampede to book seats on a Hogwarts Express for Christmas. Parents want their kids out.
This leads to a real crisis point, to a crisis of leadership.
Exactly. Under pressure, particularly from Lucius Malfoy, who leverages the situation, the Minister of Magic, Cornelius Fudge, shows up.
Yeah.
And Fudge, acting largely on past suspicion, 50 years old, not current evidence.
Suspends Dumbledore and arrests Hagrid, sends him to Azkaban.
It's a terrible injustice, based on prejudice and convenience.
Yet, even as he's being taken away, Hagrid gives Harry and Ron that crucial, cryptic clue.
Follow the spiders.
Yeah. The crisis really tests leadership, doesn't it? And shows how vulnerable even powerful figures like Dumbledore can be to political pressure and fear-mongering.
And Hagrid's arrest. It's just brutal. Based on old suspicions, reputation weaponized. It shows how easily injustice happens when panic sets in, reason goes out the window.
Scapegoating becomes easy.
But Hagrid's simple instruction, follow the spiders. It's this pivotal act of trust, isn't it? Guiding Harry and Ron into danger, yes, but where the truth lies, it's a testament to his faith in Harry, even as the world turns against Hagrid himself.
And they do it. They follow the spiders right into the Forbidden Forest.
A truly terrifying journey. It really solidifies that bond between Harry and Ron, testing their courage to the absolute limit.
Just the two of them, deep in the forest, only Harry's wand for light, following these creepy spiders.
Until they find the enchanted Fort Anglia, which has apparently gone wild since crashing into the Whomping Willow. Now it's sort of roaming the forest.
And then, Aragog.
The encounter with Aragog, the giant spider Hagrid raised from an egg. It's harrowing, pure nightmare fuel.
He speaks in clicks of his pincers, tells them he fears this ancient creature in the castle.
And crucially confirms Hagrid never opened the chamber. Hagrid was innocent of the original attacks 50 years ago. Aragog was the creature everyone thought was the monster then.
But then Aragog's children attack them, and it's the wild Ford Anglia that bursts in and saves them, just in time.
That whole sequence. It gives them vital information, clears Hagrid's name regarding the chamber. But it also reinforces that idea. True courage isn't not being afraid. It's acting despite the terror. Harry and Ron are terrified, but they push through for Hagrid.
It also makes it crystal clear that the real monster in the chamber is truly monstrous, not like Hagrid's often naive view of dangerous creature.
Right. While Hagrid was innocent of opening the chamber, raising Aragog in the castle was still incredibly reckless. It raises questions about responsibility, unintended consequences.
From well-meaning choices.
Exactly. So with Hagrid's name cleared in their minds at least, the puzzle pieces start clicking into place, thanks to a vital clue left by who else?
Hermione, even while petrified, she's found clutching a ripped page from a book.
With a single word scribbled on it. Pipes.
And Harry has this incredible aha moment. All the scattered clues just coalesce. He realizes the monster is a basilisk, a giant serpent. Its gaze is fatal. But nobody died because no one looked it straight in the eye.
Colin saw it through his camera lens. Justin saw it through nearly headless Nick. Mrs. Norris saw a reflection in water.
And Hermione herself must have used her hand mirror. A last-ditch effort just before she was hit. Incredible presence of mind.
And the basilisk has been using the castle's plumbing system to move around unseen. That's the voice Harry kept hearing in the walls.
And the entrance. It has to be in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom, the place where the first victim died 50 years ago.
It's the ultimate moment of clarity, isn't it? A culmination of details finally making sense.
It absolutely showcases Hermione's brilliance, her resourcefulness even in mortal danger, leaving that perfect clue.
And the idea that everyday infrastructure pipes can conceal hidden dangers. It's a powerful metaphor, isn't it? Hidden evils lurking in plain sight within society. How often do we overlook the obvious channels for harm just because they're familiar?
It's also kind of poetic justice, isn't it? Harry's parcel tongue, the thing that made everyone suspect him,
becomes the very key needed to open the chamber, to find the truth and face the monster. A perceived weakness transformed into a unique strength.
So the final confrontation, deep beneath the school, a literal and symbolic descent into darkness.
Harry and Ron, dragging along the completely useless, now memory-wiped Lockhart.
After his own memory charm backfired spectacularly.
Right. They enter the chamber through Myrtle's toilet, not the grandest entrance.
Harry speaks parcel tongue, the stone wall slides open, revealing this vast, dark, eerie chamber.
And there, lying unconscious, is Ginny Weasley.
And then Tom Riddle emerges from the diary, this chillingly handsome, preserved memory from 50 years ago.
And he finally reveals his true identity. He is Lord Voldemort, or rather the memory of the boy who became Voldemort.
His confession is bone-chilling, how he enchanted Ginny through the diary, fed on her fears, her secrets, gained strength from her.
Manipulated her into opening the chamber, setting the basilisk on students.
It reveals the true, insidious nature of the attacks. Not just a random monster. A calculated act of dark magic, fueled by manipulation, by Voldemort's lingering malevolence.
It highlights the danger of seemingly innocuous objects, like a diary. How easily something innocent can become a conduit for manipulation, preying on vulnerability, fear, especially in someone young like Ginny. It's a stark lesson about influence, corruption.
How evil can subtly take root.
Then comes the climax. It brings together these unlikely allies and reveals these profound truths about bravery and identity.
Harry faces the basilisk, seems completely outmatched. Then
Fawkes arrives. Dumbledore's phoenix, a beacon of loyalty, of hope, blinds the basilisk with his talons, a symbolic stripping of its power.
And then, almost miraculously, the sorting hat, which Fawkes also brought, produces.
Godric Gryffindor's sword, an ancient ruby-encrusted weapon, appearing only for a true Gryffindor in need.
And Harry, despite his fear, his injuries, he fights, kills the basilisk.
Then, crucially, uses one of its fangs, dripping with venom, potent enough to destroy Horcruxes, though we don't know that yet, to stab Riddle's diary.
Destroying the memory of Voldemort, reviving Ginny.
It's packed with symbolism, isn't it? Fawkes, the sword. It emphasizes Dumbledore's protection, yes, but also magical loyalty. And Harry's inherent Gryffindor courage, his worthiness, his moral character shining through absolute terror. It's not just what he can do, it's who he chooses to be.
Which brings us right back to that quote, Dumbledore's pivotal statement to Harry afterwards.
It is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are far more than our abilities. Yes, that's the core philosophical takeaway.
Right. It emphasizes moral character, the decisions made under pressure over inherent traits or talents.
Harry has Parseltongue, Slytherin's ability. It could align him with darkness, but his choices consistently push him towards the light.
It's about self-definition, agency, free will, the moral weight of our decisions. Destiny isn't predetermined by birthright. It's shaped by every choice.
Absolutely. And the resolution. It brings this profound sense of triumph. Justice, with lasting effects.
Lockhart remains memory wiped. A hollow shell. Can't return to Hogwarts.
Dumbledore is triumphantly reinstated. Lucius Malfoy's threats against the governors came to light, exposing his tactics. His influence is curtailed.
And maybe the most satisfying moment, Dobby.
Dobby is freed. By Harry's clever trick with the sock hidden in the diary, free from the Malfoys.
Gryffindor wins the House Cup. Exams are canceled, much to Hermione's hilarious dismay.
Exams canceled. We need exams. Classic Hermione.
Lucius Malfoy is sacked as a school governor. Draco's usual swagger is gone, replaced by this simmering resentment.
The ending provides a satisfying close to the immediate threat, but it definitely hints at the ongoing battle, doesn't it? Against prejudice, against dark magic.
Dobby's freedom is so powerful. Liberation from servitude, abuse, a testament to Harry's moral compass, acting on injustice, even for someone considered lesser.
The contrast between Harry and the Malfoys just hammers home those core themes. Compassion versus cruelty, acceptance versus bigotry.
While Lucius's power is checked, the broader prejudice isn't gone. Draco's still resentful. It reminds you these battles aren't won overnight.
So much of this story really does boil down to how we respond to fear, how we define belonging, and ultimately the incredible power of the choices we make.
It's a compelling reminder, isn't it? Even when our abilities might seem to align us with darkness, our choices, they illuminate our true path.
And that really is the magic of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Another deep dive complete. Another layer peeled back.
And like Dumbledore says, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light.
A perfect thought to end on.
That brings us to the end of another, hopefully thought-provoking deep dive here on Artificially Literate. We really hope you've enjoyed revisiting Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets with us, and maybe gained some new perspectives on its pretty timeless themes.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening to Artificially Literate. We genuinely appreciate your curiosity, your engagement. Hope you found some useful insights.
Please be sure to check out our other deep dives. We explore more literature, film, ideas. Follow us wherever you listen so you don't miss a single one.
And next time, we'll be continuing our journey through the wizarding world. We're turning our attention to the next installment, the third book in the Harry Potter series.
Until then, remember, feed your brain, starve your inner fool.
Welcome to Artificially Literate, the place where books, films, and ideas spark, real thought and curiosity.
Absolutely. Each time we take something, a book, maybe a film, sometimes just a cultural moment, and we really try to get under the surface.
Yeah, looking at what it means philosophically, literally, all of it. So if you love stories, if you're always searching for meaning, or maybe you just enjoy a good takeaway thought,
then this is definitely your space, a chance to reflect, maybe learn something, and see things a little differently.
So today, we are plunging into a world brimming with magic, deep mystery, and a whole lot of mistaken identity. We're delving into one of the most, I think, pivotal books in a truly iconic series.
It really is a fan favorite, and for good reason. Sets up so much.
Definitely. We're going to kick things off with a passage that honestly always makes me chuckle. It's from the book that's captivated millions. Just picture this. Non-magic people, more commonly known as muggles, were particularly afraid of magic in medieval times and not very good at recognizing it. On the rare occasion that they did catch a real witch or wizard, burning had no effect whatsoever. The witch or wizard would perform a basic flame-freezing charm and then pretend to shriek with pain while enjoying a gentle tickling sensation. Indeed, Wendelin the Weird enjoyed being burned so much that she allowed herself to be caught no less than 47 times in various disguises.
Ha! Wendelin the Weird. It's such a perfect little snapshot, isn't it?
It really is. And that, of course, is from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the third book in J.K. Rowling's legendary series. That passage, it just sets such a unique tone right away.
It really does. It's not just fluff.
No, not at all. And today, we're not just going to, recap the plot. We're doing a proper deep dive into these pages. We want to explore the philosophical side, the literal meanings, unpack these complex characters.
Look at those really pivotal plot points, the moments that make this book stand out.
Exactly. And our mission for this deep dive, we really want to highlight what the book offers that maybe goes beyond the film adaptation, which is great, but different.
and pull out some insights on themes like fear, which is huge in this book, the nature of justice, which gets really complicated.
And friendship.
Oh.
The power of friendship, often in really surprising ways. It's
Yeah.
going to be quite a journey, so let's unpack this.
That Wendelin, the weird quote you started with, it's more than just funny. It's actually, I think, a masterstroke in setting the stage thematically.
How so?
Well, Rowling immediately throws this idea at you. Perception versus reality. You've got the muggles thinking they're spotting magic, thinking they're in control, burning witches, but they're completely clueless.
They can't even recognize the real thing.
Exactly. And this sort of early humorous example, it primes us, almost subconsciously, for the much bigger deception and misunderstanding that's going to unfold around Sirius Black later.
Ah, okay, so it makes you question appearances right from the start.
Precisely. It makes you think, how easily can fears or even, historical stories be twisted or just plain wrong? How often do we, like those muggles, just dismiss or misinterpret things we don't get, especially when fear's involved? It's kind of the lens the book wants us to use.
I totally see that. It signals straight away this isn't just a simple good versus evil story. There are shades of gray, hidden truths. And right from page 1, we're reminded Harry Potter is definitely not living a normal kid's life.
No kidding.
We find him, it's almost midnight, he's under the blankets with a flashlight, secretly doing homework. He actively hates the summer holidays.
Which is so backwards for most kids.
Right, because it means being stuck with the Dursleys, just suffocating under their total denial of who he actually is.
And he's working on an essay for Snape, of all people, his least favorite teacher.
Yep. Witch burning in the 14th century was completely pointless to discuss. And the irony is, the Dursleys are basically living embodiments of that medieval attitude towards magic he's writing about.
Trying to stamp it out of him, locking everything away, spellbooks, wand, cauldron, broomstick. Forbid him from even talking about it.
But Harry, he's always resourceful. He manages to pick the lock on the cupboard under the stairs to get his books back. What does this immediate dive into Harry's summer tell us about him at this point, beyond just, being a wizard?
Well, it hammers home his feeling of being an outsider, his otherness, but also you see his resilience starting to really show. Hating summer isn't just boredom, it's like a visceral rejection of this world that denies who he is.
That isolation is key, isn't it?
Absolutely. It sets the stage for the deeper emotional stuff he faces later. And Snape's essay topic, it seems academic, but it's brilliant foreshadowing. It forces Harry to think about historical muggle-wizard relations, which kind of prepares him for the big story about misunderstanding and prejudice with Sirius Black.
Ah, interesting connection. Like, people can be totally wrong about magic.
And by extension, about people, magical or otherwise. And him picking that lock, it's a small thing, but it's an act of rebellion. It shows he's determined to hold on to his identity, his connection to the wizarding world, no matter what.
Then his 13th birthday rolls around. And predictably, the Dursleys completely ignore it. It's such a small detail, but so painful. Really underscores his isolation at home.
Just brutal emotional neglect.
But then the owls arrive. Gifts from his friends. And these aren't just presents, are they? They feel like lifelines, like a sudden burst of magic and connection pulling him back from the edge.
They really are. They tether him to the world where he belongs.
Ron sends him a pocket sneakoscope. It's supposed to light up around untrustworthy people, but Ron says it's unreliable. Kept going off at dinner because Fred and George put beetles in Bill's soup.
Classic Weasley chaos.
Right. It's played for laughs, but thinking back, it's actually pretty subtle foreshadowing, isn't it? This funny little gadget plants a seed about who might be untrustworthy later on.
Oh, definitely. It's more than just a gag. The sneakoscope, being unreliable, it subtly introduces this idea that appearances can fool you, that trustworthiness isn't always obvious.
Hey, like, don't just trust what you see on the surface.
Exactly. It fits the whole theme of the book. How do you figure out who's really who in a world full of illusions and secrets? That sneakoscope isn't just about beetle detection, it's priming us to be a bit skeptical.
And Hermione, well, she's pure Hermione. Her gift is perfect for her. A sleek, black leather broomstick servicing kit.
Of course it is, with polish and clippers and everything.
Fleetwood's high finish handle polish, tail twig clippers, a tiny brass compass, handbook of do-it-yourself broom care, the works. It's practical, but really thoughtful. Shows how meticulous she is and how much she cares about Harry's passion for Quidditch.
It's her way of showing support, isn't it? Very different from Ron's more chaotic friendship, but just as genuine. Her gift is about preparedness, precision. It's as much about her personality as Harry's needs.
Her letter also casually drops that Percy's become head boy. Ron, predictably, is not thrilled.
Huh. Yeah, that little detail adds that layer of Weasley family dynamics. Ron's typical sibling rivalry grounds the magic and relatable stuff.
And then there's Hagrid's gift, the Monster Book of Monsters.
Oh, that book literally bites.
Exactly. And Hagrid, in his usual endearing but slightly alarming way, just says it'll be useful for next year. It's such a perfect Hagrid moment, funny, quirky, and a hint of danger.
Totally sets up his teaching style, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah, the Monster Book of Monsters is classic Rowling world building. Even the textbooks have personalities, often difficult ones. It gives you that sense of magical unpredictability and hints that Hagrid's lessons might be hands-on and maybe a bit dangerous.
A bit of foreshadowing that learning isn't always easy or safe this year.
Exactly. Danger and unexpected lessons are definitely coming.
But that brief moment of magical connection shatters when Aunt Marge arrives for a visit.
Ugh, Aunt Marge.
She's described so vividly, so unpleasantly. Large, beefy, purple-faced, even has a mustache, just like Uncle Vernon. And her personality is just cruel. She constantly insults Harry, his parents, just chipping away at him.
Relentless bullying.
The tension just builds and builds as she keeps criticizing Harry's parents, suggesting something was wrong with his mother. She actually uses the word bitch.
And that's the breaking point for Harry.
Yeah, his magic, driven purely by emotion, by loyalty, just lashes out. He accidentally inflates her, like a monstrous balloon, buttons popping, floating up to the ceiling.
It's a huge moment for him, his most serious breach of the underage magic rules so far. It's uncontrolled, yes, but it comes from this desperate need to defend his parents.
So it's accidental, but also deeply meaningful.
Absolutely. It reveals that deep well of anger and loyalty in him. This recklessness, it's a recurring thing for Harry, gets him into trouble, but also leads to these moments of, like, unplanned heroism. His emotions are as powerful as his magic. Suppressing who he is clearly has consequences.
After that, total chaos. Harry storms out, actually threatens Uncle Vernon with his wand. He's furious, but then the panic sets in. He's stranded, alone in the Muggle world, terrified he'll be expelled. No money, no way to contact anyone.
He's really hit rock bottom there, completely vulnerable.
And then, bang, the night bus appears. Out of nowhere, this crazy purple triple-decker bus just materializes on a normal suburban street. It feels like the wizarding world just swooping in to rescue him when he needs it most.
The night bus is such a brilliant invention. Magical emergency transport operating right under Muggle noses. It highlights that hidden infrastructure. And the ride itself, chaotic fast, beds sliding everywhere.
Yeah.
It's designed to throw Harry and us off balance, rips him out of the familiar, and dumps him right into the frantic pace of the magical world. It's weird, maybe a bit scary, but it's also a solution. Uniquely wizarding solution.
A crucial transition. And it's on this wild ride that Harry first sees the picture of Sirius Black. Front page of the Daily Prophet. Sunken face, matted hair. Looks terrifying.
Properly menacing image.
And Stan Shunpike, the conductor who keeps calling Harry Neville, which is hilarious, gives this alarming story. Black's supposedly Voldemort's top supporter, his second in command, blew up a street, killed a wizard, dozen muggles.
Just paints him as this mass murderer.
And Harry accidentally says Voldemort out loud, causing this huge shock on the bus. What does this first impression of Black do for the story?
It's pure misdirection, isn't it? Carefully crafted to make Black seem like this ultimate evil, based purely on headlines and gossip. It builds massive suspense and fear around him.
Setting him up as the villain.
Exactly. And the reaction to Harry saying Voldemort, it just underlines the deep-seated fear and taboo around the Dark Lord, which makes Black seem even scarier as his supposed right-hand man. The whole thing makes you question, again, like with Wendell and the Weird, how much do you trust official stories? Especially when fear is involved. Sets up the central mystery perfectly.
What an introduction to the main conflict. So Harry gets to the leaky cauldron, fully expecting to be expelled, right? For blowing up his aunt.
Yeah, he's braced for the worst. Ministry officials waiting.
But instead, he's met by Cornelius Fudge, the Minister of Magic himself. And Fudge is surprisingly lenient, almost weirdly nice about it.
Suspiciously lenient, you could say.
Definitely. Fudge is evasive. Tells Harry he needs to stay in Diagon Alley, don't go into Muggle London. It hints at something bigger going on, something Harry doesn't understand yet.
Oh, absolutely. Fudge's leniency isn't about Harry's feelings, it's pure politics. Harry's the boy who lived, a symbol. Fudge needs him safe, visible, under control in a way.
So keeping him close is strategic.
Right. The evasiveness, the restrictions. It's clear Harry's being protected, but why? That's kept hidden. This government concern, plus Dumbledore later agreeing to have Dementors at Hogwarts.
Yeah.
It creates this powerful sense of unease. The threat from Black must be huge, makes you question the Ministry's motives.
Harry then gets 2 whole weeks, Dursley-free, in Diagon Alley. It sounds amazing.
A rare bit of freedom for him.
He hangs out at Florian Fortescue's ice cream parlor, studies there. And Florian himself knows a lot about medieval witch burnings, tying back to Snake's essay, and gives Harry free Sundays.
Best study spot ever. Free Sundays every half hour. Sign me up.
Right. And Harry refills his vault at Gringotts, fights off temptations like solid gold gobstones and this amazing moving model of the galaxy.
Yeah.
It's a moment for him to just be a wizard.
It's crucial. That time lets him experience the joy of the wizarding world without the Dursley shadow or the immediate Black threat. It's relative normalcy, pure magical immersion. And Florian Fortescue knowing about witch burnings, it's not just trivia. It reinforces that history, shows how the past and prejudice linger.
As he's getting his school supplies, he goes to Flourish and Blots. And it's chaos because they've got a delivery of the Monster Book of Monsters.
Oh yeah, the biting books again.
Hundreds of them fighting each other. Total bedlam. The manager's been bitten 5 times. Luckily, Harry already has his.
Yeah.
He also picks up his divination textbook, Unfogging the Future.
Cassandra Verblatsky sounds ominous already.
And on the cover, he sees the Grim, this giant spectral black dog, described as the worst omen of death. And Harry instantly recognizes it. He had seen a huge black dog back in Magnolia Crescent just before the night bus appeared. Deeply unsettling for him.
Classic omen. That Grim on the cover immediately creates this sense of foreboding that gets right inside Harry's head. It's not just a scary picture, it's a powerful symbol from wizarding folklore.
Plants seeds of fear, especially since he thinks he's already seen it.
Exactly. This motif of death omens runs through the first part of the book, messing with Harry's perception, fueling the tension, and of course, setting up a massive red herring about Sirius. Brilliant storytelling.
Ron and Hermione show up soon at the Leaky Cauldron. They talk about Aunt Marge. Ron thinks it's hilarious. Hermione's worried about expulsion, naturally.
The classic dynamic.
But what really blows Ron's mind is Hermione's class schedule. Arithmancy, care of magical creatures, divination, ancient runes, muggle studies, all overlapping with her normal classes.
Yeah, Ron's like, how are you supposed to be in 3 classes at once? You just can't compute.
It's such a clever, sustained bit of foreshadowing, isn't it? Subtly hinting at her secret all along.
Absolutely. It shows her incredible dedication, her ambition, almost obsessive learning. Ron's confusion is funny, but it also highlights how absurd her schedule seems, setting up the time turner reveal later as this extraordinary but somehow logical solution for her.
Raises questions, too, about the pressure on students, maybe.
Yeah, and the lengths she'll go to shows her resourcefulness early on.
While they're shopping, they visit the magical menagerie. Ron needs tonic for Scabbers, his rat, who's looking pretty sick.
Poor old Scabbers. Or maybe not so poor.
Right. Meanwhile, Hermione buys Crookshanks, this grumpy, bow-legged ginger cat with a squashed face. Ron hates him instantly, sees him as a threat to Scabbers. This starts that whole feud between them.
And it's not just a cat hates rat thing, is it?
No way. Crookshanks' immediate, almost instinctual hatred for Scabbers. It's more than pet rivalry. It feels like a clue.
It's a brilliant plot device. Crookshanks seems to know something's wrong with Scabbers. His relentless pursuit hints at a hidden truth, makes you question this ordinary-seeming rat right from the start. Sows suspicion without giving the game away. Animal instinct detecting true nature.
And then the stakes get terrifyingly real for Harry. He overhears Mr. and Mrs. Weasley talking quietly, and he learns the truth. Sirius Black isn't just some random escaped convict. He's believed to be hunting Harry.
That's the moment it becomes deeply personal. Gut punch for Harry.
Mr. Weasley reveals Black escaped Azkaban, and Dumbledore reluctantly agreed to have Dementors stationed at Hogwarts for protection. The whole narrative shifts from a general threat to something aimed right at him.
Yeah, the story really kicks into high gear there. And Dumbledore agreeing to the Dementors, that's significant, shows how serious the threat is, but also Dumbledore's awareness of how awful Dementors are. It foreshadows their psychological impact on Harry. It's like a necessary evil Dumbledore hates.
And just to lighten the mood, or maybe defy authority, Fred and George change Percy's head boy badge to read Big Head Boy.
Classic Fred and George. A needed bit of humor amidst the dread. Youthful defiance. Lets you breathe before the next wave of fear hits.
On the Hogwarts Express, things get properly terrifying. We meet Professor R.J. Lupin, the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. Looks a bit shabby but kind, reading in the compartment.
Seems unassuming at first.
Then suddenly the train compartment goes freezing cold, dark. Dementors attack the train. Harry just reels. Everything goes icy, and he hears his mother screaming.
Not Harry, not Harry, please not Harry. Just horrifying, deeply traumatic for him.
It's pure psychological horror. Dementors don't just make you sad, they force Harry to relive the absolute worst moment of his life. It's his deepest trauma made real.
A brilliant way to show his internal pain externally. And Lupin's reaction is key. He's calm, deals with the Dementor instantly with some unknown charm.
And gives Harry chocolate. Explains it helps counter the effects.
Right. Immediately establishes Lupin as competent, compassionate. He offers not just magical defense, but practical psychological first aid. Sets up their bond and Harry's eventual journey to overcome that fear.
And it perfectly contrasts with Malfoy later, taunting Harry for fainting. Shows Malfoy's cruelty.
Yeah, highlights that emotional immaturity that makes Malfoy so unlikable.
At Hogwarts, Dumbledore's welcome speech addresses the Dementors directly. Emphasizes they're there, warns students not to leave grounds without permission, and he specifically says Dementors are not to be fooled by tricks or disguises or even invisibility cloaks.
That's a crucial line, not just a safety rule. It challenges Harry's reliance on his cloak, underlines the unique threat of Dementors. They sense emotions, not just sight. Vital info later.
And we see Professor Snape's instant dislike for Lupin. It's palpable, foreshadows their conflict, hints at some bad blood from the past.
Oh yeah, that tension is thick. Snape's loathing isn't just professional jealousy, it feels personal, historical, hints at old rivalries, old wounds that will definitely impact the story and Lupin's fate.
Then there's Hagrid's emotional appointment as the new Care of Magical Creatures teacher. Great for Hagrid, but...
Puts him in the spotlight, makes him vulnerable. Dumbledore has faith, but others might not.
And in divination class with Professor Trelawney, all misty and theatrical, she makes dramatic predictions from tea leaves, including Harry seeing the Grim, again, the worst omen of death.
Trelawney keeps hammering that grim prediction, maintains the tension, reinforces Harry's fear, even if she's all melodrama.
But then Professor McGonagall provides some welcome sanity. She just bluntly dismisses divination as one of the most imprecise branches of magic.
Classic McGonagall. Love that moment. Grounds the fantasy, provides that voice of reason, highlights the different philosophies at Hogwarts, the practical versus the mystical, logic versus fate. It's a tension throughout the book.
Hagrid's first lesson introduces hippogriffs. Proud, beautiful creatures. Need respect.
Majestic, but dangerous if disrespected.
And Harry, with his bravery and connection to creatures, steps up. He approaches Buckbeak correctly, bows, earns his trust, and gets to ride him. It's an amazing moment.
Shows Harry's courage, his humility, his intuition with magic. Pure triumph.
But then Malfoy, being Malfoy, ignores Hagrid's explicit warnings, insults Buckbeak, this stupid great bird, and gets slashed across the arm for his arrogance.
Instant karma. But Malfoy being Malfoy, he milks it.
Totally. This incident is pivotal. It kicks off the whole campaign against Buckbeak, puts Hagrid's job in jeopardy, and becomes this whole subplot about injustice, prejudice, and how the system can be manipulated.
Yeah, Malfoy exploiting his injury for political gain through his father shows the darker side of wizarding society. Class bias, corruption in the legal system. It foreshadows the bigger injustices later on.
It's incredible how much is set up in just these opening chapters. So much tension and mystery building.
Definitely lays the groundwork for everything that follows.
And as Harry starts grappling with these dark omens and the shadow of Sirius Black, it really reminds us how layered this story is. If you're enjoying this deep dive and want to keep exploring literature and ideas with us, remember you can find Artificially Literate on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yeah, please follow us for more. We love digging into these stories.
As we move into the real heart of the book, let's pause on this quote. It perfectly captures that feeling of magic and freedom tied to Harry's ultimate broomstick. He could feel it vibrating and let go. It hung in midair, unsupported, at exactly the right height for him to mount it.
Ah, the firebolt moment. It's not just about a fast broom, is it? It's about that connection, that perfect harmony between wizard and tool.
Yeah, it represents the freedom Harry finds in the magical world. A complete contrast to the Dursleys, the fear about black. It's him mastering his world.
Finding his place, feeling comfortable in his own skin.
What's fascinating is how Lupin steps up, not just as a teacher, but as a real mentor in defense against the dark arts. His focus is practical.
A welcome change after Lockhart and Quirrell.
Right, and his lesson on Boggarts is brilliant, especially helping Neville. Neville's terrified of Snape, so Lupin helps him turn the Boggart Snape into Snape wearing his grandmother's clothes, complete with a vulture-topped hat. It's hilarious, but also insightful.
Lupin's genius. He empowers Neville through humor, reframing the fear. It also subtly shows how much Snape negatively affects his students, making Snape look, well, ridiculous for a moment. It's key for Harry learning to face his own fears, too.
And critically, Lupin stops Harry from facing the Boggart. He later tells Harry he suspected it would turn into Voldemort, but Dumbledore corrects him later on, right? Harry's fear is actually fear itself, the feeling of terror, of helplessness.
That is such a profound insight. It elevates Harry's struggle. His real enemy isn't just Voldemort. It's that internal state of despair, the memory of his parents' final moments triggered by the Dementors.
Makes his vulnerability psychological.
Exactly. And that's why Lupin's private lessons on the Patronus charm are so important. It's not just about learning a spell. It's about confronting that specific personal fear. The Patronus becomes mastery over his own mind, his emotions.
Those lessons sound intense. Harry really struggles at first to learn Expecto Patronum. He keeps hearing his mother's screams when the Dementor Boggart approaches. Finding a happy memory strong enough is hard.
Understandably so. Trauma can overshadow everything. Makes recalling joy incredibly difficult.
He tries thinking about riding a broom, winning the house cup.
But what finally works? The memory of finding out he was a wizard, leaving the Dursleys, finding his identity, his freedom.
That's so telling. His greatest strength isn't just magic. It's his sense of belonging, rejecting oppression, the joy of finding his true home. That's what fuels his Patronus, a real personal victory.
It's about his core self.
Around Christmas, total game changer. Harry gets a firebolt. Anonymously. The best broomstick in the world.
Amazing gift. But also suspicious.
Exactly. Hermione, ever cautious, immediately suspects Sirius Black sent it. Potentially jinxed. She goes straight to Professor McGonagall.
Oh, that causes a massive racket.
Huge. McGonagall confiscates the firebolt for testing. Harry and Ron are furious with Hermione, feel totally betrayed. Even Oliver Wood, the Quidditch captain, is horrified the best broom ever is locked away.
It perfectly highlights that clash within the trio. Hermione's logic and rule-following versus Harry and Ron's emotional reaction. Safety versus desire.
McGonagall's decision makes sense given the Black situation, but it's so frustrating for Harry. And Wood's reaction is pure Quidditch obsession.
A bit of comic relief, but also shows how central Quidditch is at Hogwarts.
And during all this, Ron still keeps noticing Hermione's impossible schedule, muttering about how she does it. The book just keeps dropping these little hints.
Keeps that mystery simmering. Reinforces how extraordinary Hermione is, her drive, her resourcefulness. Makes the time-turner reveal much more satisfying later because you've been wondering all year.
Then comes the first Hogsmeade weekend. But Harry can't go. No signed permission slip from the Dursleys.
Yeah.
He's gutted, left behind.
Crushing disappointment for him. Excluded again.
But Fred and George step in. True agents of chaos and friendship. They give him the Marauders map.
Yes, the map. Iconic.
This magical parchment showing all of Hogwarts, secret passages, everyone's location in real time, signed by Messrs. Mooney, Wormtail, Padfoot, and Prongs. This map isn't just a tool, is it? It's like a key to his past.
Oh, it's huge. Embodies rebellion, secret knowledge, friendship. Those nicknames instantly intriguing. Fred and George passing it to Harry connects him to that rule-bending, adventurous spirit of his father's generation. It literally opens up Hogwarts for him.
So Harry uses the map, plus his invisibility cloak, sneaks into Hogsmeade through a secret passage, ends up in Honeyduke's sweet shop.
Best arrival ever.
He meets Ron and Hermione. Hermione's torn, happy to see him, but horrified he broke the rules. Ron's just thrilled with the map, dismisses her worries about Black potentially using the passages.
Classic trio dynamic again. Hermione, the cautious anchor, Ron, the enthusiastic accomplice, Harry caught in the middle wanting the adventure. Her worries aren't wrong, though, given what they think they know about Black. Adventure versus safety.
And it's in Hogsmeade at the Three Broomsticks that everything flips. Harry, under the invisibility cloak, overhears Fudge, McGonagall, Flitwick, Hagrid, Madame Rosmerta talking.
The big reveal.
A real story about Sirius Black. He wasn't the Potter's secret keeper in the end. He persuaded James and Lily to switch to Peter Pettigrew at the last minute, thinking it was clever misdirection.
Oh, the irony.
But Pettigrew, one of their closest friends, he was Voldemort's spy. He betrayed James and Lily. Then Sirius went after Pettigrew.
And Pettigrew faked his own death. Blew up the street, killed all those muggles, framed Sirius, left only a finger behind.
Exactly. And that's why Sirius was thrown into Azkaban without a trial. 12 years.
Monumental. Completely rewrites everything, Harry, and we thought we knew. Masterful use of dramatic irony, Harry hearing this devastating truth while hidden. Pettigrew, the friend, the rat, revealed as the true villain.
Shifts the whole story. It's not about catching a killer anymore.
It's about clearing an innocent man. It changes Harry's entire understanding of loyalty, betrayal, evil. It's a total gut punch.
The impact on Harry is huge. His supposed enemy is innocent, betrayed just like his parents were. Meanwhile, his firebolt gets returned, cleared, just in time for the Quidditch final against Slytherin.
High-stakes match.
And during the game, Dementors appear on the pitch, trying to get to Harry. But this time, he's ready. He remembers Lupin's lessons, focuses on that powerful, happy memory leaving the Dursleys.
And
He does it. Casts a full corporeal Patronus, a magnificent silver stag. It drives the Dementors away. A massive personal victory over his deepest fear.
wow, that's huge for him. A major turning point. The stag, too, his father's animicus form, that connection.
It's incredibly symbolic, harnessing his emotional strength, memory, love to fight despair, asserting his own power. Gryffindor wins the cup. But in the chaos, his Nimbus 2000 gets destroyed by the Whomping Willow.
Ah, bittersweet. End of an era for that broom, but the start of something much more powerful for Harry himself.
Later, back in the dorm, things get terrifying again. Ron wakes up screaming. Sirius Black is standing over his bed holding a knife.
Chilling image. Seems to confirm he's dangerous.
Right. The fat lady's portrait is slashed too. Black definitely got in. But the key thing they realize later is Black used the Marauders map. And he wasn't after Harry in that room. He was after Scabbers, Ron's rat.
Another twist. The target wasn't Harry, it was the rat. Why? Suddenly, Scabbers is the center of the mystery. Brilliant setup for the final confrontation.
And that confrontation happens in the Shrieking Shack, the most haunted building in Britain, supposedly. Yeah. Harry, Ron, Hermione follow Scabbers, who bites Ron and makes a run for it down towards the Whomping Willow.
Where Crookshanks suddenly helps them.
Yes. Crookshanks knows how to freeze the willow, pressing a knot on the trunk. Turns out he's been helping Sirius all along. He knew Scabbers wasn't just a rat.
Cat and dog working together. Amazing.
Inside the shack's tunnel, they find Sirius, and then Lupin arrives. And the whole truth comes tumbling out. Sirius is innocent. He's an animagus, a big black dog, Padfoot.
Lupin reveals himself too. He's a werewolf Moony.
And Scabbers. Scabbers isn't a rat. He's Peter Pettigrew. Also an animagus wormtail, hiding in rat form for 12 years.
Mind. Blown. All the pieces clicking into place. The Marauders revealed James Potter, Prongs the Stag, Sirius, Padfoot, Lupin, Moony, and Pettigrew. Wormtail.
They created the Marauders map together at school. Such rich backstory. Deepens the whole world.
And provides this tragic context. Pettigrew, the seemingly weak one, the follower, he's the betrayer, shows how fear, cowardice can be so destructive, how friendship can be shattered by self-preservation. It's a profound commentary.
The story of why they became animagi is incredible too. To support Lupin during his werewolf transformations, James, Sirius, Peter learned how, illegally, so they could run with him as animals during the full moon. Keep him company, keep him safe.
Such loyalty, such ingenuity. Makes Pettigrew's betrayal even more sickening. He owed Lupin, owed James and Sirius everything, but fear of Voldemort corrupted him, led to James and Lily's deaths, a devastating story of friendship destroyed.
And right in the middle of this incredibly tense reveal, Snape bursts in.
Of course Snape shows up, still holding on to that old-school grudge against Sirius and Lupin.
He refuses to believe Sirius is innocent. He's blinded by prejudice, by his history with them. He wants to hand Sirius over to the Dementors.
Shows how personal bias can completely block justice. He can't see past his own resentment.
But then, Harry, Ron, and Hermione together, they disarm Snape. Expelliarmus. All three at once. It's a powerful moment. Standing up to authority, choosing loyalty and justice.
Shows how much they've grown, their conviction, their teamwork, and then they force Pettigrew out of his rat form, capture him. Justice seems possible.
But it's not that simple, is it? On the way back to the castle, the full moon comes out. Lupin hadn't taken his wolfsbane potion.
Oh no, chaos.
Lupin transforms into a full werewolf. In the confusion, Pettigrew grabs Lupin's dropped wand, stuns Ron, transforms back into a rat, and escapes.
So close. Devastating twist. Justice denied again.
Sirius transforms into Padfoot to protect the kids from werewolf Lupin. He drives Lupin off, but then he's injured, exhausted, and the Dementors find him by the lake. Hundreds of them.
Closing in for the kiss. The worst possible fate.
Harry and Hermione watch helplessly from across the lake as the Dementors swarm Sirius. Harry tries to cast a Patronus, but it's too weak. Then, He sees a powerful silver Patronus emerge from the other side of the lake, a stag, driving all the Dementors away, saving Sirius.
He thinks it's his father, right?
He does, initially. He is convinced James Potter somehow saved them. But later, he'll realize the truth.
That it was him, from the future. Wow. Powerful themes of legacy, self-reliance. The strength was inside him all along.
Exactly. But in the immediate aftermath, Sirius is captured, Pettigrew's gone, Lupin's missing, Dumbledore arrives. He seems to understand immediately. He tells Harry and Hermione they can save more than one innocent life that night, using Hermione's time turner.
Dumbledore, always seeing the bigger picture, knows about the time turner.
He gives them cryptic instructions. You must not be seen. Puts immense responsibility on them. The danger of changing time.
Highlights Hermione's crucial role again. Her intellect, her tool, saves the day. But the stakes are incredibly high. Paradoxes, consequences.
Then follows that thrilling time travel sequence. They go back 3 hours. They have to relive events unseen. First, they save Buckbeak from execution right under the executioner's nose.
Creating a diversion, letting him fly off just in time. Brilliant.
Then they wait, watch themselves go through the Shrieking Shack ordeal, watch the Dementor attacked by the lake. And Harry realizes no one is coming to save Sirius. His father isn't appearing. He has to do it.
The moment of realization.
He steps out, casts that incredibly powerful stag Patronus himself, driving the Dementors away from his past self. And Sirius, he understands. The savior he saw was him.
Chills. What a moment of self-discovery.
Then they race to the tower where Sirius is being held, waiting for the Dementors. They fly Buckbeak up to the window and rescue Sirius, getting him away just moments before Fudge and Snape arrive.
Breathtaking sequence. Justice served in a way. Even if Sirius has to remain a fugitive, that image of him flying off on Buckbeak, pure freedom, hope against the odds.
In the aftermath, Sirius is free, Buckbeak is safe. But Lupin resigns. Snape accidentally lets slip to the students that Lupin is a werewolf. Prejudice wins that battle.
Tragic for Lupin. Such a good teacher, forced out by intolerance. A somber reminder of the prejudice he faces.
As Lupin leaves, Harry gives him back the Marauder's map. Lupin tells Harry how proud James would have been of his mischief with it. A lovely connection.
Heartwarming moment. Connects Harry to his father's spirit.
Dumbledore comforts Harry, explaining about the Patronus. Your father is alive in you, Harry, and shows himself most plainly when you have need of him. How else could you produce that particular Patronus? Prongs wrote again last night.
Beautiful. Love transcends death. Ancestral connection. His heritage is strength, not just a burden. Powerful comfort for Harry.
And finally, the perfect ending touch. Harry gets a letter delivered by a tiny hyperactive owl. It's from Sirius. He's safe. And most importantly, he gives Harry signed permission to visit Hogsmeade.
Ah, that's huge for Harry. More than just permission, it's connection, freedom, the promise of family, of belonging, liberation from the Dursleys' grip, a hopeful end to a dark year.
Absolutely. Now let's shift gears slightly and talk about the film adaptation. Great movie, but like all adaptations, it had to make choices. What key things from the book did it miss, and why do those omissions maybe matter?
Well, the biggest one probably is the depth of the time turner subplot. In the book, Hermione's impossible schedule is this running mystery all year. You see her stress, Ron's confusion. It builds and builds. The time turner reveal feels earned, deeply part of her character arc.
Right, the film compresses it a lot.
Yeah.
Makes the reveal feel a bit more sudden, maybe less integrated into her year-long struggle.
Exactly. It diminishes that sense of her relentless drive, maybe. Other smaller things, like the big head boy badge Fred and George make for Percy, cut. It's minor, but it adds that Weasley flavor, that touch of rebellion.
The night bus scene, too, while fun in the film, misses some of the book's specific chaos. Stan calling Harry Neville the moving beds. Little details that add texture.
And Harry's Patronus training. The book details multiple intense sessions with Lupin. You really feel Harry's struggle, hear his mother screams with him, see his gradual mastery. The film condenses it, losing some of that hard-won emotional journey.
That gradual build was so important for his character arc. Also, the book mentions the Whomping Willow was planted when Lupin started school, a subtle clue about its purpose for his transformations, tying into the Marauder's loyalty.
Adds so much richness to their backstory, that detail. And the film simplifies the politics around Buckbeak's trial, too. The book really digs into Lucius Malfoy's influence, the corruption, the class prejudice, making the injustice feel more systemic.
Yeah, the film makes it feel a bit more like a personal vendetta, less about the flawed system.
Yeah.
And while the Marauder backstory is there, in essence.
The book gives so much more detail on how they became animaja, the ingenuity, the depth of their bond, which makes Pettigrew's betrayal even more impactful. It's glossed over a bit.
And Harry's Patronus realization that he was the savior, not his father's ghost. That internal journey of self-reliance is much clearer, more profound in the book.
Absolutely critical moment of self-discovery. And finally, Snape's grudge against Lupin feels deeper, more rooted in their specific school history in the book. Explains his bitterness more, even if you don't condone it.
So these omissions, while maybe necessary for film pacing, they do trim away some of the richness, the complexity of the characters, the politics, the backstory that the book builds so meticulously.
Makes for a fantastic film, no doubt. But the book offers an even deeper, more rewarding experience, I think.
We've really journeyed through quite a tale here. Mistaken identity, deep friendship, the power of courage. Prisoner of Azkaban isn't just an adventure, is it? It's about facing fears, the complexity of justice, and finding family in unexpected places.
It teaches you that appearances lie, justice is hard-won, and loyalty is everything.
And that final note of hope, of connection for Harry, is perfectly captured in that last quote we mentioned from Sirius's letter. I, Sirius Black, Harry Potter's godfather, hereby give him permission to visit Hogsmeade on weekends.
Such a simple sentence, but means the world to Harry.
It really does.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for diving deep with us today on Artificially Literate. We hope exploring Prisoner of Azkaban has given you some new insights, maybe a fresh perspective on this fantastic story.
Yeah, it's been great discussing it. Don't forget to check out our other deep dives.
Please do. Follow us for more topics like this and stay tuned for our next literary adventure. And always remember, feed your brain, starve your inner fool.
Frank Bryce was the Riddle's gardener. He lived alone in a run-down cottage on the grounds of the Riddle house. Frank had come back from the war with a very stiff leg and a great dislike of crowds and loud noises, and had been working for the Riddles ever since. Welcome, curious listener, to Artificially Literate. This is where books, films, ideas, they all meet deep thought and, well, curiosity. Every episode, we really try to plunge into a piece of literature, maybe a compelling video, sometimes a cultural moment, and we break down its philosophical, its literal meanings.
Yeah, dig into it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So today, we're not just dissecting any story. We are taking a magnifying glass to, I think, truly pivotal tale in modern fantasy. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
That's right. And our mission in this deep dive, it isn't just about, revisiting the narrative beats we all remember.
Right.
It's really about exploring the book's intricate plot, the profound character developments, and those overarching themes that just make it so utterly compelling. We'll lay the book alongside the film adaptation, highlighting not just what made it to the screen or what got left behind, but really critically examining how those choices ultimately shape the narrative for millions.
Yeah, and how it maybe even changed how we collectively understand this wizarding world.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Get ready to look at a story you probably think you know inside and out, but maybe from a whole new angle.
Right.
Hopefully reveal some powerful aha moments along the way.
Looking forward to it. Okay, so let's kick things off by unpacking that truly unsettling overture.
Okay.
The book begins in a way the film just entirely skips, right? And it immediately sets this distinctly darker, much more mature tone.
Definitely.
We don't even start with Harry Potter. We start with an elderly muggle, Frank Bryce. He's a war veteran, a bit of a loner, stiff leg, hates crowds.
Yeah.
And he's been tending the decrepit Riddle house for decades. And he becomes the very first completely unwitting witness to the chilling reemergence of dark magic.
It's such a masterful choice by Rowling, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's truly fascinating here is how this opening sequence immediately establishes this palpable sense of dread and mystery. The film, probably for understandable reasons, pacing,
Yeah.
it jumps straight to Harry's dream, gets us right into his perspective.
Right.
But by starting with Frank, the book grounds the whole conflict in this very real, very human context, completely removed, initially, from the magical world we know.
Yeah, it feels different.
It does. We're introduced to Voldemort's return plan, Wormtail's there, Bertha Jorkins is mentioned, the crucial need for Harry Potter's blood. All from an outsider's perspective. We don't even really know who the voices are at first, which just ramps up the tension dramatically. It signals right away that the stakes have fundamentally shifted from the previous books.
And Frank's history is just tragic, isn't it? He was even initially suspected of the Riddle's murder all those years ago just because he was the gardener.
Yeah, poor guy.
And despite that, he stayed on, tending the property, even with what the book calls his nasty feeling about the place.
Right.
His final encounter with Voldemort and Wormtail is just chilling. Wormtail, all squeaky and clearly reluctant, he suggests it could be done without Harry Potter, my lord.
He's terrified.
Totally. But Voldemort, with that cold, menacing voice, is absolutely unyielding. He declares, I have my reasons for using the boy, as I have already explained to you, and I will use no other. I have waited 13 years. A few more months will make no difference.
Chilling.
For those of us who maybe only saw the film first, the sheer ruthlessness of Voldemort and his long game planning, it feels so much more immediate and terrifying with this prologue.
It really does.
It really makes you wonder, does the film truly lose something essential by cutting Frank, or does it just achieve the same goal through different means?
That's a great question because from a purely cinematic viewpoint, there's definitely an argument for efficiency, right?
Yeah.
Jumping directly into Harry's dream connects the audience immediately to our protagonist and the magical world. It gets things moving.
Sure, makes sense.
However, the book's decision to open with Frank Bryce, it doesn't just introduce Voldemort's plot, it subtly expands the narrative's scope.
How so?
Well, it shows us the impact of dark magic on the Muggle world. It reminds us of the wider stakes beyond just Hogwarts.
Ah, yeah, I see.
The film's choice, while it's effective in its own way, maybe presents a cleaner, more contained conflict, whereas the book highlights a more pervasive, sort of insidious evil that reaches even into these forgotten Muggle villages.
So it's like a deeper dive into how their worlds are connected, which we kind of lose in the film.
Exactly. That interconnectedness is much clearer in the book's opening.
Okay. So eventually, of course, we do finally meet Harry. He's enduring another summer at the Dursleys.
Yeah, the Dursleys.
But this time it's a little different. His friends are actually sending him illicit food parcels, Mrs. Weasley's fruitcake.
Probably hard as a rock.
Probably. Hermione's sugar-free snacks. Even a few of Hagrid's infamous rock cakes.
Oh, dear.
And his anticipation for the Quidditch World Cup leads to this fantastic and just hilariously chaotic intervention by the Weasley family.
Oh, it's brilliant. This segment just perfectly highlights the stark contrast between Harry's two worlds, doesn't it?
Completely.
The Dursleys' irrational fear and just disdain for anything magical are pushed to an extreme. Uncle Vernon practically having a panic attack just hearing the word broomsticks.
He really does.
Then boom, the sudden boisterous arrival of the Weasleys via flu powder. Mr. Weasley struggling with the fireplace, yelling "Incendio" over and over.
And blowing up the Dursleys' fake electric fireplace.
Exactly. And the truly unforgettable incident with Dudley's toffee-enlarged tongue.
Oh my God, the tongue.
This entire Dudley's tongue episode is notably absent from the film.
Yeah, it's gone.
Which significantly truncates the Dursleys' interaction. By cutting it, the film definitely streamlines the plot. But it sacrifices a foundational piece of the book's charm, I think. That sheer unpredictability and the delightful, often messy way the wizarding world constantly just crashes into the mundane.
It's pure mayhem. I mean, Harry, ever the clever one, uses the strategic mention of Sirius.
His murderous godfather.
Exactly, to basically blackmail Uncle Vernon into letting him go.
Smart kid.
And then the visual of Mr. Weasley trying to contain the situation, Aunt Petunia screaming hysterically while yanking on Dudley's monstrous tongue, poor Dudley nearly suffocating. It's all so vivid in the book.
Total chaos.
We even get that early glimpse of Percy's disapproval of Fred and George, right? He's off trying to work while his family is causing absolute pandemonium.
Ever the ministry man even then.
And just as the chaos reaches its absolute peak, we hear that voice. "Tell me what," said a voice behind them. Mrs. Weasley had just entered the kitchen. "Tell me what, Arthur?"
Perfect timing.
It's the perfect cutoff just before Molly Weasley lays down the law.
And that's exactly where the book uses these kind of domestic scenes, not just for humor, but to reinforce character dynamics and even foreshadow future conflicts.
Like Fred and George versus Percy.
Yeah, they're developing ambition to create mischief, often at Percy's expense. The film, in streamlining these events, loses some of that rich early character interaction that makes the wizarding world feel so lived in and vibrant, filled with these small character-defining moments.
Definitely feels more lived in, yeah. Okay, so after that chaotic crash landing at the Dursleys, Harry's summer truly begins with that incredible journey to the Quidditch World Cup.
Ah, the World Cup.
And that whole experience is just a masterclass in how the wizarding world manages large-scale events, isn't it?
It absolutely is.
It's like an intricate lesson in magical logistics. You've got portkeys, all these anti-muggle precautions, meeting new characters like Amos Diggory and his son Cedric.
It really is. And this section raises that important question. How does the wizarding world manage such huge international events without muggles noticing?
Yeah,
The book's description of portkeys, with their staggered arrival times and all the detailed anti-muggle charms, disillusionment charms, muggle-repelling charms, it offers a truly fascinating look into the Ministry of Magic's operations. It's a level of detail the movie simplifies considerably. It focuses more on the spectacle, less on the intricate planning.
right.
But for us, reading it, it's like a peek behind the curtain of wizarding infrastructure. It shows us how vast and surprisingly organized their society really is.
And we also get to see the differences in, like, social standing and personality within the ministry itself, right?
Exactly. Percy's idolization of Barty Crouch, this stiff, impeccably dressed guy who barely acknowledges him, calls him Weatherby.
Oh, that's brutal.
And then you contrast that with Ludo Bagman, the jovial ex-Quidditch star. He's a bit gone to seed, as the book says, but undeniably likable, charming everyone.
From total opposites.
The film introduces these characters much more quickly, sure, but with less backstory on their specific departmental roles or their contrasting personalities. And that context actually becomes pretty important later on.
It's true, that sense of a meticulously organized yet still slightly ramshackle magical world comes through so well in the book.
Yeah, ramshackle's a good word for it sometimes.
The description of the old boot portkey, that long walk across Stoats Head Hill, and poor Mr. Roberts, the muggle caretaker, constantly having his memory modified, it really paints a picture.
It does. Poor Mr. Roberts.
Then you arrive at this diverse, bustling campsite. It's filled with international wizards, kids flying around on toy broomsticks, sales wizards hawking luminous rosettes and roaring scarves.
It feels huge.
It truly feels like a global gathering. You hear snippets of foreign languages, excited chatter everywhere. And who can forget Fred and George's hilarious bet with Bagman,
Oh, classic.
putting their entire life savings on Ireland to win, but Crumb to get the snitch.
Such a specific, clever bet. And Bagman takes it instantly. Maybe too instantly.
Yeah. Foreshadowing, perhaps?
Perhaps. And Mr. Crouch's line, organizing portkeys across 5 continents is no mean feat, Ludo, really highlights the sheer scale of this operation.
Right.
It gives you a deeper appreciation for the ministry's efforts, even as we start to see its flaws later. It's not just a fun trip. It's a testament to the wizarding world's complex infrastructure and its constant, often precarious efforts to stay hidden from muggles.
That kind of detail is really what makes Rowling's world feel so fully realized, I think.
Agreed. It's the world-building depth.
Okay, so the match itself is next a dazzling spectacle of magic and sport, a dizzying display of skill, mascot antics.
The Vila and the Leprechauns.
Exactly. But what should be this pure celebration is tragically overshadowed by the reappearance of the Dark Mark and the terror of the Death Eaters.
Right. The book provides this incredibly vivid, almost play-by-play account of the Ireland versus Bulgaria match. We get specific player actions. Dimitrov, Crumb, Lynch doing that Ronsky feint, and a wonderfully detailed contrast between the mascots. The playful, gold-showering leprechauns.
Which turns out to be fool's gold, of course.
Of course. And the enchanting, then suddenly aggressive Vila.
Yeah, don't make them angry.
The film compresses this significantly. And while it's visually stunning, a lot of the detailed game action and the specific fouls like cobbing or deliberately flying to collide, they get lost.
Sure.
But here's where it gets really interesting plot-wise. The post-match chaos is where the real story starts to thicken. That sudden, horrifying shift from celebration to pure terror.
It's abrupt.
Hooded, masked wizards torturing the Muggle family, the Robertses floating them high in the air, and then the chilling appearance of the Dark Mark Voldemort sign in the sky.
You remember those details so clearly from the book, the gold raining down from the leprechauns, the Vila's captivating and then enraging effect on the men.
Yeah.
Crumb's extraordinary seeker skills, even getting injured but still catching the snitch.
A strategic loss, almost.
Exactly. Then that abrupt, gut-wrenching shift to panic. The terrifying sight of masked figures levitating the muggles, the appearance of the skull with the snake tongue.
Shivers.
Even Malfoy's taunts, using the derogatory mudblood term for Hermione during this chaos, it really highlights his evolving cruelty and the insidious nature of the hatred that's brewing.
He's getting bolder.
It transforms the entire atmosphere from festive to utterly foreboding, doesn't it? For you, listening out there, did the movie's abbreviated Quidditch match still convey the spectacle? Or did you, like me, miss some of those immersive details the book offered? How did that atmosphere change for you when the Dark Mark appeared?
It's a powerful point.
Yeah.
While the film's visuals for the match were certainly impressive,
They were.
the book's detailed account, including the specific fouls, the mascots' personalities,
Yeah.
it truly immerses you in the event before the horror strikes.
Yeah, that contrast is key.
So the abrupt shift, when the Dark Mark appears, feels much more jarring and effective in the book, precisely because of that initial immersion. It's a masterful piece of pacing, really,
Yeah.
turning a moment of global wizarding triumph into one of stark, chilling terror.
And it cements the idea that the threat of Voldemort is very real, very present, even without his full physical return yet.
Exactly. It's the moment the gloves really come off for the series.
Okay, so in the terrifying aftermath of the Dark Mark, a terrified house elf named Winky is found with Harry's wand.
Poor Winky.
This leads to a heated accusation from Amos Diggory and Barty Crouch's furious, almost unhinged defense of her.
Yeah, he loses it a bit.
Meanwhile, the Daily Prophet, under the sensationalist pen of Rita Skeeter, immediately begins to spin its own narrative.
Right. And this entire subplot with Winky is almost completely excised from the
Well, it
film.
was totally gone, yeah.
And this is where we find one of those aha moments, I think, that profoundly changes how you perceive the wizarding world. By cutting Winky's story, the film does more than just streamline. It subtly sanitizes the wizarding world.
Sanitizes? How do you mean?
It sidesteps the uncomfortable truth that even good institutions like the Ministry harbor deep-seated injustices
Right.
embodied in the treatment of house elves.
Ah, the whole house elf slavery issue.
Exactly. This omission fundamentally alters the audience's understanding of the moral complexities that truly permeate Rowling's world. It presents a cleaner, maybe less ethically murky landscape.
Which isn't really the case in the books.
Not at all. It also blunts Hermione's evolution into this formidable social justice advocate. Her SPEW campaign, directly inspired by Winky's plight, becomes a defining element of her character later on.
Right, the Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare.
And Barty Crouch Sr.'s passionate, almost unhinged defense of Winky, yelling, "If you accuse my elf, you accuse me, Diggory." It hints at his own dark secrets, his desperate need for this unimpeachable reputation, which the film almost entirely glosses over.
And Winky's tearful denial is just heartbreaking. I is not doing magic with it, sir. I is not making the dark mark, sir. I is not knowing how. Mr. Crouch's fury is intense. Mr. Weasley's intervention to calm things down is vital, but yet the core issue of systemic injustice for house elves is laid bare right there.
It is.
Then Rita Skeeter swoops in with her initial article about ministry blunders and culprits not apprehended, and you see Percy's utterly frustrated reaction. It shows how the public narrative is already being manipulated.
Instantly.
Hermione's question to Ron later, so, whoever conjured the Dark Mark, were they doing it to show support for the Death Eaters or to scare them away? It really captures the lingering uncertainty and fear.
It does.
Without Winky, without Hermione's burgeoning activism, does the film inadvertently suggest that the wizarding world is somehow more just or less complicated than the books imply?
It's a very fair point. The
Yeah.
book highlights how information is controlled and manipulated even within the Ministry, and how a character like Rita Skeeter can exploit public fear and uncertainty for her own gain. Winky's story, in particular, adds this layer of moral complexity regarding the treatment of non-human magical beings. That becomes a huge theme for Hermione throughout the rest of the series.
Yeah, it drives her.
Without it, the film's narrative feels more straightforward, perhaps, but less rich in its exploration of wizarding society's underlying flaws. And it makes Hermione's later convictions feel a bit less earned, less organic, maybe.
It's a subtle shift, but yeah, a significant one in how we understand the world itself.
Definitely.
All right, that brings us to the end of part one. Let's move into the tournament itself.
Okay.
So, after the chaos of the World Cup, Harry, Ron, and Hermione return to Hogwarts amidst a storm both literal and figurative.
Yes, the weather is terrible.
We're introduced to the unforgettable Alastor Mad-Eye Moody, the new defense against the dark arts teacher,
What an entrance.
and the thrilling, but definitely controversial, announcement of the Triwizard Tournament.
The return to Hogwarts definitely feels different this year. The torrential rain, Peeves's usual antics lobbing water bombs.
Always Peeves.
It contrasts with this palpable anticipation for the school year ahead. The book also highlights that extended list of forbidden items Filch has posted.
Oh yeah, like screaming yo-yos and fanged frisbees.
Exactly. Offers a touch of humor and shows Dumbledore's or maybe Filch's ongoing battle to keep things under control, which the film only briefly touches upon.
Right?
Then Dumbledore's announcement of the Triwizard Tournament, an event absent for a century, it generates immense excitement across the Great Hall.
Huge news.
However, that age restriction, only students who are of age, that is to say 17 years or older, will be allowed to put forward their names. That immediately sparks outrage.
Especially from Fred and George.
Particularly from Fred and George Weasley, yes. The film faithfully captures the excitement and the age restriction, but it doesn't dwell quite as much on the immediate impact on the twins or their subsequent hilarious attempts to bypass the rules.
With the aging potion.
Exactly. Moody's arrival, though, with his unique appearance, that clunking leg, the magical eye whizzing around.
It's very visual.
It's visually dramatic in both book and film, definitely. But the book spends more time establishing his quirks and his ever-present mantra, constant vigilance.
Constant vigilance.
Which becomes, in hindsight, a deeply chilling piece of foreshadowing about his true identity.
And those quirks are so memorable. The twins' frustration is hilarious when they try to bypass the age line with that aging potion.
Oh, yeah.
Only to sprout these long white beards and end up brawling in the Great Hall.
Classic Fred and George.
It's such a classic moment that really emphasizes their mischievous spirit. But that age restriction, it immediately raised the stakes, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
It made it clear this wasn't going to be some simple school competition. This was something far more dangerous.
Absolutely. The age restriction, while seeming unfair to younger students like Harry, really underscores the inherent dangers of the tournament. Remember, it had been previously suspended due to the high death toll.
Right, people died.
It shifts the perception from just an exciting game to a serious, potentially lethal competition.
Yeah.
And that's further emphasized by the 1,000 galleons prize money.
Big prize.
It also immediately sets up the central mystery.
Yeah.
How is Harry's name going to eventually get entered despite these rules, making the subsequent events even more intriguing?
It's a clever narrative device, yeah. It establishes the gravity of what's coming.
Exactly.
Okay, so Hogwarts lessons this year are anything but ordinary. We've got Hagrid's alarming new creatures, the blast-ended Scroots.
Oh, the Scroots.
To Moody's unnerving demonstrations of the unforgivable curses.
Right. The blast-ended Scroots are a definite book-only delight, or maybe horror, depending on your perspective.
Probably horror for the student.
Definitely for Malfoy. They exemplify Hagrid's boundless, if sometimes misguided, love for monstrous creatures.
He means well.
He always means well. And they provide comic relief through the students' sheer revulsion. Well, comical, they also serve to subtly foreshadow future dangers, don't they? With their fire-blasting ends and stings, creatures the students are forced to nurture might one day be weapons.
Good point.
This entire element is completely absent from the film. And while it's maybe a minor plot point, it definitely adds flavor to the world and Hagrid's character.
Yeah, it does feel very Hagrid.
More gravely, though, are Moody's defense against the dark arts lessons, when he demonstrates the Imperius Cruciatus and killing curses.
On spiders, mostly.
Yes, thankfully. It's a stark reminder of the dark forces at play. And Neville Longbottom's particularly strong, traumatized reaction to the Cruciatus curse demonstration.
That's a really poignant book detail.
Yeah, the book describes it. Harry, following her gaze, saw that Neville's hands were clenched upon the desk in front of him, his knuckles white, his eyes wide and horrified.
It hits you. It hints so strongly at his tragic past, which we later learn involves his parents being tortured into insanity by that very curse.
Right. It provides a depth to Neville's backstory that is handled much more subtly, if at all, in the movie during this specific section.
It's true. The grotesque appearance of the Scroots, these sort of armored, headless lobsters that shoot fire from their rears.
Yes. Yeah.
And the students' desperate attempts to care for them or just avoid them is a perfect Hagridism. You just know he means well.
Always.
But then Moody's calm, yet utterly terrifying demonstrations of the curses, showing their power, their insidious nature.
Yeah.
It's chilling.
It really is.
And Neville's visible distress brings home the real-world impact of these dark spells on a personal level long before we even know why it affects him so deeply.
Indeed. And Moody's stark warning afterwards. The imperious curse can be fought, but it takes real strength of character, and not everyone's got it. Better avoid being hit with it if you can. Constant vigilance.
Constant vigilance.
It highlights the immediate and personal threat these curses pose. It makes the lessons feel less theoretical and more like actual survival training.
Yeah, prepping them.
It's a crucial part of the book's darker tone, emphasizing the escalating dangers Harry and his friends are facing, preparing them for the realities of the wizarding world beyond school tests.
Okay, so then the much-anticipated delegations from Beauxbatons and Durmstrang arrive.
The arrival.
In spectacular fashion, bringing this new international flair and one very famous Quidditch player.
Victor Krum.
But the real shock comes when the Goblet of Fire makes its final, completely unprecedented choice.
Right. The film perfectly captures the dramatic entrances, doesn't it? Beauxbatons with their elegant carriage, drawn by those magnificent winged horses, Ibraxons.
Beautiful.
Led by the imposing Madame Maxime. And Durmstrang with their ship rising mysteriously from the depths of the Black Lake, featuring the legendary Victor Krum and the, rather sinister Igor Karkaroff.
Definitely sinister vibes from Karkaroff.
These visuals are truly iconic and were brought to life beautifully on screen. However, the book, around this time, also delves into Hermione's growing passion for SPEW.
Right, the House Elf Rights campaign.
The Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare, yes. An activism born from her discovery of Hogwarts' hundreds of house elves and their perceived oppression.
And Ron's reaction to it.
Oh, yeah. This subplot, and Fred and George's arguments against it, they're happy, they think they've got the best job in the world. That's completely omitted from the film, which to me is a significant loss.
Why? Significant?
It streamlines the narrative, sure, but it removes a major piece of social commentary and crucial character development for Hermione. This omission fundamentally shifts our understanding of Hermione's burgeoning moral compass and the deeper systemic issues within the magical world itself.
That's a powerful insight. We see Madame Maxime, who the book hints is also half-giant.
Right, Hagrid recognizes it.
And Karkaroff, who immediately eyes Snape suspiciously, hinting at a shared dark past, presumably as Death Eaters.
Yeah, there's tension there.
The dramatic moment of the champions' names being called from the Goblet Fleur Delacour, Victor Krum, Cedric Diggory.
Respected mostly.
Culminating in Harry's name emerging. His disbelief and Ron's furious, "you're joking" reaction. It's just a gut punch.
Total shock and anger.
Malfoy's smugness when Krum sits with the Slytherins just adds to the tension. As Dumbledore says right before it happens, the moment has come. The Triwizard Tournament is about to start. I would like to say a few words of explanation before we bring in the casket.
Famous last words before chaos.
And then everything changes. This is where the emotional stakes just skyrocket. But by taking out SPW, does the film maybe simplify Hermione's character arc, making her less of a social justice warrior and maybe more solely focused on Harry's journey?
I think it absolutely does. The exclusion of STW from the film, while maybe necessary for brevity, removes a layer of depth about the wizarding world's social hierarchy and Hermione's evolving moral compass.
Yeah.
It's a poignant example of how the book allows for more nuanced explorations of character and theme, whereas the film has to prioritize the main plot points. Without SPW, Hermione's fierce advocacy for the marginalized feels less integrated into her identity throughout this book.
Makes sense.
And the animosity and sense of betrayal Harry feels, not just from Ron, but from many other students who think he cheated. It establishes this profound isolation that he carries through much of the tournament.
Yeah, the Potter stings badges.
Exactly. It feels even more cutting because of the sheer unfairness of his selection.
Okay, so with the tournament officially underway, Harry gets that terrifying hint about the first task, dragons.
Dragons.
Facing a Hungarian horntail, no less, he has to rely on his wits, some well-timed advice from Sirius.
Via owl post, or rather fireplace flue call.
And mastering a powerful summoning charm.
Right. This is where the danger truly sets in, and the book excels in building suspense and detailing the strategy involved. The revelation of dragons for the first task, initially shown to Harry by Hagrid in a secret nighttime meeting.
Which Madame Maxime also attends.
Exactly. Further hinting at their shared half-giant heritage, which is a book-only detail that escalates the stakes significantly. The book meticulously details Karkaroff spying on the dragons, which is a clear sign of his duplicity, trying to help Krum.
Cheating already.
And Sirius's brilliant suggestion for Harry to use a summoning charm Accio for his firebolt. That's key.
Lifesaver.
This strategic preparation, combined with Hermione's rigorous coaching, remember her making him practice over and over, even playfully threatening him. Threaten me with a dragon, right?
Ah, yeah.
Those are portrayed with such rich detail in the book. The film visualizes the dragon challenge spectacularly, no doubt.
Well, it's amazing.
But the inner turmoil, the intellectual struggle to master the charm, and the explicit foundational coaching from Hermione are far more pronounced in the book. It shows us Harry's growth in a different way.
Like how he has to work for it.
Precisely. And Ludo Bagman's biased, often reckless commentary during the task is also a book highlight, offering Harry help, scoring him highly. It emphasizes his questionable neutrality as a judge.
Yeah, he's definitely not impartial. I can still picture Harry's sheer terror upon seeing the Hungarian horntail, its bronze-spiked tail whipping around.
Terrifying description.
Then his desperate practice of the summoning charm with Hermione, shouting "Actio!" at everything until he finally masters it.
Hard work pays off.
The actual task, with his successful summoning of the firebolt, his incredible aerial maneuvers to retrieve the golden egg, and the judge's scoring, putting him in a tie for first place with Crumb, actually not Cedric.
Ah, right, with Crumb initially. Good correction. It's also exhilarating.
But that intellectual struggle, that sense of Harry earning his success through study and practice rather than just pure instinct, that feels a bit more emphasized in the book, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. The film excels at the spectacle, the visual thrill. But the book grounds Harry's success in diligent effort and the crucial support of his friends, particularly Hermione's intellectual rigor.
Yeah.
It's a key part of his character development, showing him mature beyond just being the boy who lived into becoming, well, the wizard who actually studies sometimes.
Sometimes.
It emphasizes that even in a magical world, preparation, intelligence, and a little help from your friends can be just as vital as raw talent or fame.
Very true. Okay, just a quick note to you, our wonderful listeners. If you're enjoying this deep dive into Artificially Literate, please make sure to follow us. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube for more thoughtful explorations of your favorite stories.
Please do.
And with that, we move to our next quote that ends this middle section from a very helpful and very free house elf.
Harry Potter needs to hurry, squeaked Dobby. The second task starts in 10 minutes, and Harry Potter brang.
All right, part 3. The Yule Ball offers this rare moment of social grace, or maybe awkwardness.
Definitely awkwardness for some.
But it's absolutely fraught with teenage angst, burgeoning romance, and some pretty bitter jealousy.
Oh, yeah.
It also reveals secrets and further exposes the intrusive nature of Rita Skeeter's journalism.
Right. This segment provides such a critical social backdrop, and it's often streamlined in the movie. In doing so, I feel we lose much of its emotional texture and character depth.
How so?
Well, Harry's awkward struggle to find a partner, his crushing disappointment when Cho Chang goes with Cedric,
Painful.
and Ron's spectacular failure to secure a date, leading to his truly insensitive, dumpy comment about Eloise Midgen.
Cringeworthy Ron moment.
And his later, almost bewildered realization when he sees Hermione. Hermione, Neville's right, you are a girl.
Took him long enough?
These are classic book moments. They add immense character depth and humor, showcasing the painful, awkward realities of teenage social dynamics, magic or no magic.
Totally relatable.
Then Hermione's surprise arrival with Victor Crumb looking absolutely stunning.
Big reveal moment.
It immediately exposes Ron's deep-seated jealousy. He just spits it. He's from Durmstrang.
Yeah.
He's competing against Harry, against Hogwarts. You're fraternizing with the enemy. That's what you're doing.
He does not handle it well.
Not at all. This emotional complexity, including Hagrid's secret about his half-giant heritage being revealed to Madame Maxime,
A tender moment.
and then cruelly twisted by Rita Skeeter into a sensationalist article, that's all far more developed in the book. The movie captures the visual splendor of the ball. Hermione's transformation is great,
She looks amazing.
but it largely omits the full emotional fallout and the specifics of Skeeter's destructive journalism at this particular stage. It lessens the depth of these characters' personal struggles, I think.
Whoa, the drama. It's so much more than just a dance, isn't it? Harry's fumbling attempt to ask Cho, Ron's absolute fury at Hermione's date choice,
A little meltdown.
the intimate, whispered scene with Hagrid and Madame Maxime under that reindeer statue where he confesses, was it your mother or your father? Only for Rita Skeeter, lurking nearby, to turn it into this horrifying sensationalist article.
Dumbledore's giant mistake.
Exactly. And the other one, Harry Potter's secret heartache, portraying Hermione as this plain but ambitious girl, toying with the affections of both Harry and Crumb.
Just vicious.
This level of emotional complexity, where even a seemingly joyous event is just full of awkwardness and cruelty, makes the book feel so authentic.
Right.
I love that detail where Dean mutters, "I still can't work out how you two got the best-looking girls in the year," referring to Harry and Ron with the Patil twins,
Yeah.
to which Ron gloomily replies, "Animal magnetism," while pulling stray threads out of his awful dress robe cuff.
Uh-huh. Perfect Ron.
It just highlights the deeply human, sometimes hurtful aspects of growing up, all set against this magical backdrop.
Exactly. The book uses the Yule Ball not just as a festive interlude, but as a crucible for character development. It exposes insecurities, forges new bonds, and lays bare the social pressures faced by teenagers, magical or otherwise. The film, while visually beautiful, often glosses over these intricate emotional landscapes for narrative efficiency, which unfortunately diminishes the impact of some of these interpersonal conflicts and revelations.
It makes us truly feel the discomfort and the joy of these characters in the book.
Exactly. You live it with
Yeah.
them more.
Okay, moving on. Cedric's cryptic hint about taking a bath with the golden egg
Good guy, Cedric.
leads Harry to the prefect's bathroom, moaning Myrtle, and the terrifying realization of the second task, retrieving what they'll sorely miss from the bottom of the Black Lake.
Right. And this is where the book really excels in building suspense and detailing the intellectual puzzle of the egg's clue, which is explored more deeply than in the film. The scene in the luxurious prefect's bathroom with moaning Myrtle, whose typically tactless reaction to Harry asking about breathing underwater, talking about breathing in front of me, and when I can't, when I haven't, not for ages, is classic Myrtle.
Always sensitive.
That scene is absolutely crucial for Harry finally solving the egg's riddle, hearing the Verpeople's song clearly underwater.
Right.
Then there was that close call with Filch and Snape, who were investigating Snape's office being broken into. Harry's only saved by Moody showing up on the Marauders map.
Another layer of tension.
Yes, and it further implicates Barty Crouch Jr., disguised as Moody, in the break-in at Snape's office, trying to get potion ingredients.
Connecting the dots.
The movie depicts the underwater task itself very effectively. It's visually impressive.
It is. Creepy mer people.
But the book emphasizes Harry's moral dilemma during the task much more strongly. He struggles not just to rescue Ron, who is his designated hostage, but also Fleur's younger sister, Gabrielle, whom he sees is also left behind. He thinks, she's my friend too, and I don't want them to die either.
Even though Fleur is out of the task.
Exactly. His decision to save multiple hostages, despite the time penalty it costs him, showcases his innate selflessness. It's a trait Ron proudly calls his moral fiber afterwards.
Nice moment between them.
This moral choice is a core book theme that the film, while it does show Harry saving Gabrielle, doesn't emphasize quite as deeply.
And there's another key book detail missed in the movie here, right?
Yes, Dobby's timely intervention with the gillyweed.
Right. In the movie, Neville gives it to him.
Yes, which is a change from the book, where Harry is desperately trying to find a solution. Dobby overhears professors discussing it, or thinks he does, and brings in the gillyweed literally minutes before the task starts.
So it changes the dynamic, makes it less about Neville's budding herbology knowledge and more about house elf loyalty again.
Exactly. It shifts Harry's rescue from relying on a friend's knowledge to relying on the help of a grateful house elf, reinforcing that bond.
That luxurious prefect's bathroom, though, with all its different enchanted bubble baths and that swimming pool-sized tub, such a vivid image.
It's an incredible perk.
And then the chilling merpeople song, Harry's panic when he can't figure it out, and Dobby's frantic but ultimately saving appearance with the gillyweed.
Just in time.
Leading to Harry's transformation gills, webbed hands and feet. The harrowing encounter with the Grendylows underwater really puts you on edge.
Yeah, nasty little things.
And Crumb, ever the awkward charmer, even says afterwards, "You have a water beetle in your hair, Hermione Ninny," during the aftermath.
Trying his best.
It's like a small detail that just adds to his character. The film really streamlines this, losing that specific house elf connection and the full weight of Harry's selfless decision, which, for me, makes his heroism feel more intrinsic, more earned in the book.
It's those granular details, like Dobby's help and Harry's internal debate about saving Gabrielle, that truly underscore Harry's character and the values he embodies. The moral choice element adds significant depth beyond just the physical challenge. It illustrates that true heroism isn't just about strength or magical ability, but about compassion and self-sacrifice, even when it costs you points.
Yeah.
The film focuses on the spectacle, which it does well, but the book provides the soul, making Harry's actions resonate on a deeper, more meaningful level.
Okay, the mysteries truly deepen next with Mr. Crouch's increasingly erratic behavior and eventual breakdown,
Yeah, things get really weird with him.
leading to Harry's discovery of the pensive in Dumbledore's office and the shocking truth it reveals about Crouch's past and Voldemort's plans.
Right. The book provides extensive detail on Crouch's descent into madness. His appearances looking disheveled, talking to trees.
So out of character for him.
Completely.
Yeah.
Then his desperate plea to Dumbledore, stumbling out of the Forbidden Forest, and his fragmented confession to Harry and Crumb. My fault.
Yeah.
All my fault. Bertha, dead. All my fault. My son, my fault.
Before he disappears.
Before he disappears, seemingly taken back into the forest. This pivotal scene is crucial for understanding the larger plot. While the movie has a version of Crouch's final moments, it lacks the full context of his ramblings and his mysterious disappearance before Harry can fetch Dumbledore.
Yeah, it happens differently.
And then the pensive sequence. Just a masterpiece of world building and exposition.
Agreed.
It allows Harry, and by extension us, the listener, to witness past events unfold directly. We see Karkaroff's trial, naming names to get out of Azkaban.
Naming Snape.
Yes. We see Ludo Bagman's surprising trial for Death Eater affiliation, accused of passing information to Rookwood.
Which is a significant book revelation completely omitted from the film.
Totally gone. And it explains a lot about Bagman's later shady behavior and gambling debts. And then the truly tragic trial of Barty Crouch Jr. and his Death Eater companions Bellatrix, Rodolphus, and Robaston Lestrange for torturing the Longbottoms.
Horrifying.
This is where Dumbledore confirms Voldemort's return to Harry and reveals his suspicions about Bertha Jorkins' appearance, how she stumbled upon Crouch Jr. being hidden by his father and Frank Bryce's death, forming this terrifying pattern.
Connecting the dots.
The connection between Harry Scarpane and Voldemort's proximity and rising strength is also clarified. And that powerful book moment when Harry realizes Sirius was sent to Azkaban by Crouch without a trial.
Just threw him in.
It really explains Sirius's intense animosity towards Crouch Sr. The film's omission of Bagman's trial, in particular, removed a key piece of the political puzzle.
Right. It just simplifies things again.
It does. It removes context that explains his later dubious dealings and the broader corruption, or at least moral ambiguity, within parts of the ministry.
It's all so intricate. We see Crouch's deranged state, his desperate cries to Harry in the forest. Then, in the pensive, that chilling memory of Barty Crouch Jr.'s trial, begging his father, the Dementors, his mother screaming, only to find out Barty Jr. supposedly died a year later in Azkaban.
Supposedly.
Dumbledore connects the dots for Harry, saying, "The years of Voldemort's ascent to power were marked with disappearances. Bertha Jorkins has vanished without a trace. Mr. Crouch, too, has disappeared, and there was a third disappearance, Frank Bryce."
Laying it all out.
It's a moment of profound revelation, tying together so many seemingly disparate threads and truly emphasizing Dumbledore's acute awareness of the subtle patterns of darkness emerging.
This section is really the narrative linchpin, isn't it? Where all the seemingly disparate elements of the plot, Winky, Crouch Sr.'s weirdness, the break-in, Bertha Jorkins, they all coalesce into a clear, terrifying picture.
Yeah, it clicks.
The book meticulously unveils the layers of deception and the profound corruption, or at least moral compromise, within parts of the ministry. The film, while conveying the core revelation of Crouch Jr.'s involvement, necessarily compresses this intricate web of past events and political machinations.
Losing Bagman's trial, for example.
Right. Losing that removes a significant piece of the puzzle that explains his later behavior and adds to the sense that the ministry itself is compromised, not just by outright evil, but by negligence, ambition, and internal corruption.
Okay, the third task. The final challenge of the Triwizard Tournament. It's a treacherous maze filled with magical creatures and enchantments.
A maze.
It culminates in Harry and Cedric reaching the Triwizard Cup together, only for it to be a portkey, transporting them to that chilling graveyard from Harry's recurring dreams.
Right. The maze in the book is just a masterclass in escalating tension. It features such a variety of magical obstacles that test the champion's diverse skills.
More than the moving hedges in the film?
Oh, much more. Harry encounters a boggart disguised as a Dementor, forcing him to use the Patronus charm.
Good practice.
A golden mist that literally turns the world upside down. A blast-ended Scroot, a full-grown one, remember those from Hagrid's class?
Oh yeah, they come back.
And a riddle-posing Sphinx.
The Sphinx! Wow.
The movie largely focuses on the core events, the chase, Crumb's attack, getting to the cup. But it simplifies the variety of magical challenges considerably. It makes the journey feel somewhat less perilous, maybe less complex. This is also where Crumb, clearly under the Imperious curse in the book, attacks Cedric.
Right, Moody Crouch Jr. put him under.
Exactly. Highlighting the dark influence that has infiltrated the tournament itself. Harry's and Cedric's decision to share the cup, born out of sportsmanship and mutual respect after Harry saves him.
A noble moment.
It truly underscores the bond between these two as true champions, which makes what happens next even more devastating.
Yeah.
The moment they touch the cup and get whisked away is a terrifying, abrupt transition into the story's climax. The movie, while impactful, compresses the maze significantly and, crucially, doesn't explicitly state, Crumb is under the Imperious curse in this scene.
How does that change things?
It subtly changes the audience's understanding of his actions. It makes Crumb seem potentially malicious or weak-willed, rather than a victim being compelled by dark magic, which is the book's intention.
Gotcha. The inverted world, the Sphinx's riddle where the answer is spider,
Creepy.
Crumb's attack on Cedric, Harry's stunning Crumb, and then Harry's struggle with a giant acromantula near the cup. It's a truly harrowing journey in the book.
It really tests them.
It reminds you how much danger these teenagers are truly in and the variety of magical threats they face. But it's that shared decision to take the cup together, a gesture of respect and pure sportsmanship.
Against the spirit of the competition, really.
That makes the twist, the portkey reveal, even more brutal, doesn't it? It elevates Cedric beyond just a rival to a true ally, a friend even.
It absolutely does. It makes his fate hit harder.
And that Sphinx's chilling riddle. First, think of the person who lives in disguise, who deals in secrets and tells naught but lies. Next, tell me what's always the last thing to mend, the middle and end of the end. And finally, give me the sound often heard during the search for a hard-to-find word. Now string them together and answer me this. Which creature would you be unwilling to kiss?
Brilliant riddle. Spy, deer, spider.
Exactly. It's a brilliant puzzle integrating wit with the danger.
That riddle perfectly encapsulates the intellectual challenge of the maze, not just the physical one. The book's full exploration of the maze's various magical traps makes the champion's eventual success feel genuinely hard-won and dangerous, rather than just a quick dash to the center. And the details regarding Crumb's actions being forced by the Imperious curse are vital for understanding the true extent of the plot against Harry. It's a nuance that the film's omission somewhat diminishes, removing a layer of how insidious the dark magic is, corrupting even seemingly benign figures within the tournament.
Right. Okay, so they grab the cup and land in that desolate graveyard.
A graveyard scene.
Cedric Diggory is cruelly, instantly murdered by Peter Pettigrew. Kill the spare.
Brutal. Chilling line.
And Harry becomes a horrified witness to Lord Voldemort's terrifying ritual of resurrection, culminating in that duel where their wands connect in a completely unprecedented magical phenomenon.
This is the harrowing, gut-wrenching climax of the book. And honestly, it's reproduced with chilling fidelity in the film, too.
Yeah, the film does this part very well.
The death of Cedric, that cold, casual order, kill the spare, is an incredibly impactful moment. It signifies a definitive shift into a darker, more adult narrative for the series. No turning back.
Game changer.
Voldemort's resurrection speech, detailing the horrific ingredients: flesh of the servant willingly given, bone of the father unknowingly taken, blood of the enemy forcibly taken.
Ugh, the details.
It's a crucial piece of lore. It reveals the mechanics of this dark, ancient magic in a truly visceral way.
Yeah.
The subsequent call to the Death Eaters, summoning them with the Dark Mark, saying, 13 years. 13 years since last we met. And then his test of their loyalty, exposing their guilt, their fear, calling them out one by one. It provides incredible character insight into his followers.
You see who came back, who didn't, who looks terrified.
Exactly. Malfoy's father's there, Crabbe, Goyle's father's. The subsequent duel between Harry and the newly resurrected Voldemort, and that rare magical occurrence, Priori Incantatem.
The reverse spell effect.
Where their wands, brother wands sharing phoenix feather cores, connect and force specters, echoes, of Voldemort's most recent victims to emerge from his wand.
Cedric, Frank Bryce, Bertha Jorkins.
And then Lily and James Potter. It's this powerful moment of both vulnerability for Voldemort and unexpected aid for Harry.
They help him escape.
It's a profound display of the connection between the two, the strength of Harry's spirit and the protective power of his parents' love. Truly one of the series' defining moments.
Cedric's death, Wormtail's horrifying sacrifice of his own hand, the potion turning blinding white in the cauldron, and then Voldemort's gaunt, skeletal, snake-like appearance. It's also vividly disturbing, a truly nightmarish rebirth.
It really is.
The duel itself, Harry fighting off the Imperious curse, resisting the Cruciatus curse through sheer will. the ethereal phoenix song from The Connection, and the emergence of those echoes from Voldemort's wand, giving Harry the crucial distraction to grab Cedric's body and the portkey cup.
A desperate escape.
It's a desperate, terrifying struggle where Harry's moral courage shines through despite his youth and the trauma, as Harry yells, "Accio!" pointing his wand at the Triwizard Cup. It just encapsulates his desperate will to survive and, importantly, to protect Cedric's memory, pulling him back from the brink.
This sequence is undeniably one of the most impactful in the entire series. The detail provided in the book, especially Voldemort's monologue, doesn't just advance the plot. It deepens our understanding of his philosophy, his warped view of power, his relationship with his followers, the true nature of the magic binding him to Harry. The Priori Incantatem is such a rare and powerful magical occurrence. It fundamentally alters Harry's perception of his own connection to Voldemort, moving beyond just a scar to this deep, inherent, almost fated link. It's a moment that changes absolutely everything for Harry and for the reader or viewer.
Okay, so Harry returns to Hogwarts, traumatized, clutching Cedric's body. Chaos erupts.
Utter chaos and grief.
Dumbledore, in a furious display of power we rarely see, exposes Mad-Eye Moody as Barty Crouch Jr. under Veritaserum,
Finally revealing the imposter.
revealing the entire elaborate plot to deliver Harry to Voldemort. However, Minister Fudge arrives and shockingly denies Voldemort's return, heavily influenced, it seems, by Rita Skeeter's biased journalism and his own fear.
Right. And this final unraveling is where many critical book details are either subtly handled or completely missed in the film, enriching the political and social commentary significantly in the book version.
Such as?
Well, the book fully details Barty Crouch Jr.'s confession under the Veritaserum, how he escaped Azkaban with his mother's help, swapping places.
The dying mother's wish.
How his father controlled him at home with the Imperious Curse, keeping him hidden under an invisibility cloak. How Bertha Jorkins accidentally discovered him, leading to her capture by Voldemort and Wormtail.
And her memory giving Voldemort crucial information.
Exactly. Information about the tournament, about Moody teaching at Hogwarts, everything Voldemort needed. And how Crouch Jr. then captured the real Moody and impersonated him all year using Polyjuice Potion.
It's incredibly elaborate.
And the chilling admission, "I killed my father," just solidifies his depravity and reveals the depths of his loyalty to Voldemort. The movie reveals Moody is Crouch Jr., yes. But the full, horrifying confession under Veritaserum and Dumbledore's powerful, controlled fury during it, that's far more comprehensively explored in the book.
It gives a much more terrifying sense of infiltration and betrayal.
Definitely. Then Fudge's arrogant refusal to believe Dumbledore despite seeing Crouch Jr. confess, fueled by Rita Skeeter's biased articles painting Harry as disturbed. Harry even pointedly says, "You've been reading Rita Skeeter, Mr. Fudge."
Fudge chooses denial.
It highlights the Ministry's dangerous denial and the power of public perception, or rather willful ignorance, to ignore inconvenient truths. Dumbledore's urgent calls, remove Dementors from Azkaban, reach out to the Giants, prepare for war, are dismissed.
Setting the stage for Book 5's conflict.
Precisely. And here's where it gets really interesting, another book-only twist. The reveal of how Rita Skeeter got her scoops.
Yeah.
Hermione figures it out. Rita Skeeter is an unregistered animagus.
What?
A beetle, a small beetle buzzing around, listening in on private conversations. That's how she gathered her invasive scoops all year.
Wow, that's clever. And the movie completely omits that.
Completely. It leaves her journalistic methods a complete mystery in the film. This omission lessens the cunning nature of her character and removes a fascinating piece of world-building lore about Animage.
Yeah, that's a big detail to lose.
And even one last detail. Fred and George telling Harry about Ludo Bagman finally paying them their winnings from the World Cup bet.
Oh, yes.
But paying them with vanishing leprechaun gold, it disappears. This hints strongly at Bagman's gambling debts and shady dealings, tying back to his trial we saw in The Pensive. Another significant book detail absent from the film that colors our understanding of the broader wizarding economy and corruption.
Dumbledore's cold fury as he confronts Crouch Jr., his blue eyes blazing, it's palpable in the book. Crouch Jr.'s detailed confession explaining the Polyjuice Potion, the 7-lock trunk where the real Moody was imprisoned. It paints this terrifying picture of the elaborate plot.
Chilling.
But it's Fudge's obstinacy, dismissing the evidence, questioning Dumbledore's sanity. Harry realizes Skeeter's influence when Fudge says things like, "A Parselmouth, eh?" and having funny turns all over the place.
Blaming the victim.
It's a chilling moment of political denial in the face of absolute truth. It perfectly highlights the Ministry's self-serving complacency and fear. Dumbledore's urgent advice for the looming war, urging Fudge to accept the truth. Voldemort has returned, Dumbledore repeated. If you accept that fact straight away, Fudge, and take the necessary measures, we may still be able to save the situation.
A stark warning.
That falls completely on deaf ears. But then there are the bittersweet goodbyes at the end of term, including Hermione kissing Harry's cheek.
A sweet moment.
And Harry giving his Triwizard winnings, the 1,000 galleons, to Fred and George, helping launch their joke shop business, Weasley's Wizard Wheezes.
Investing in the future.
It provides this small, hopeful light in the overwhelming darkness. It shows that even amidst such profound loss and looming war, human connection, friendship, and entrepreneurial spirit endure.
This concluding section is just a masterclass in weaving together political intrigue, character development, and the overarching battle of good versus evil. The book uses every single detail to set the stage for the darker conflicts to come. It portrays Fudge as this dangerously complacent leader and highlights the critical importance of truth in the face of denial. The film's necessary omissions, while maybe speeding up the narrative, unfortunately dilute these intricate layers, particularly regarding the full implications of Skeeter's actions as an animagus in Bagman's compromised position.
Yeah.
These are details that fundamentally change how we understand the challenges Harry will face in the years to come. It's not just about confronting Voldemort, it's about battling institutional corruption, public ignorance, and media manipulation too.
Wow. So much depth. Okay, let's end with Dumbledore's poignant words at the leaving feast.
Remember, Cedric. Remember, if the time should come when you have to make a choice between what is right and what is easy, remember what happened to a boy who was good and kind and brave because he strayed across the path of Lord Voldemort and paid the price.
Powerful words. What an epic, intricate story, just packed with hidden layers and profound moments. Thank you, dear listener, for diving deep with us into Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire here on Artificially Literate.
Yeah, thanks for sticking with us through all that detail.
We really hope this exploration has given you some new insights and maybe a renewed appreciation for the genius of this particular tale.
Hope so.
Don't forget to check out our other episodes, follow us for more such deep dives, and stay tuned for the next book we'll be dissecting. We love helping you discover new layers in the stories you cherish.
We do indeed.
Until next time, remember, feed your brain, starve your inner fool.
Yeah, well, the more the better, said Moody darkly. We're your guard, Potter. Welcome, curious minds, to Artificially Literate. This is your space where books, films, big ideas, they don't just meet, they really converge, you know.
Exactly.
Every episode, we dive into something significant, maybe a piece of literature, maybe a film, maybe something cultural, and we try to break down, well, what it means, literally, and maybe philosophically, too.
Right. Peeling back the layers.
So if you love stories, or if you're just looking for deeper meaning, or maybe you just like a good takeaway thought, this is definitely your space to think, learn, and maybe see things a little differently.
Hopefully.
And today we are taking a full plunge into J.K. Rowling's massive 5th installment, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
The big one.
The big one. And it's such a shift, isn't it? The tone gets darker. We're talking disillusionment, secret warfare, this heavy burden of truth Harry's carrying.
Absolutely. And it's fascinating, like you said, it's the longest book by far, but the movie, one of the shortest.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Which just means, well, it means loads of amazing stuff got left behind.
Yeah. Inevitably. And that's really our mission today, isn't it? For this deep dive into Order of the Phoenix. We want to unpack this really complex story. We'll look at the key events, obviously, those quotes that just stick with you, but also really dig into the differences, you know?
Yeah.
The book versus the film.
Yeah, the gaps.
The gaps, exactly. We'll trace Harry's emotional roller coaster, and it is a roller coaster in this one.
Oh, definitely.
We'll explore the whole idea behind the resistance, Dumbledore's army, all that, and just highlight the insights that make the story still feel so relevant, so resonant.
So get ready, folks. We're going to look at this world, you know, but maybe a little differently. Connect the magic to, well, the real struggles of truth versus denial.
Yeah, should be good.
Okay, so let's kick off with Harry's summer privet drive. It's just awful, isn't it? The book throws you right into that isolation, that hopelessness after the Triwizard tournament.
Yeah.
There's that quote. Harry felt a dull, sinking sensation in his stomach, and before he knew it, the feeling of hopelessness that had plagued him all summer rolled over him once again.
You just feel it.
You really do. He's completely cut off.
Trapped with the Dursleys, who are just willfully ignorant about everything he's been through. And the letters from Ron and Hermione, they're so vague, right? Can't say much.
Oh, those letters are infuriating. In case they go astray. You can understand Harry's frustration. He's seen Cedric die, faced Voldemort.
And now he's getting these non-updates while they're apparently off having secret meetings. It's maddening. He feels so forgotten.
Yeah, the book really details that simmering resentment. He even throws away their chocolates at one point, then regrets it. It shows his desperation.
And the nightmares. Constantly revisiting the graveyard, trying not to think about it. Even Sirius's letters, trying to be reassuring, kind of land wrong.
Right, keep your nose clean. Easier for Sirius to say, Harry thinks. Exactly. He's hiding in flower beds, trying to overhear the Muggle news for any hint of Voldemort. It's not just loneliness. It's like Rowling is showing how isolation feeds doubt, makes you question everything.
That's a great point. Because he is doubting himself. He hears a noise, thinks apparition, maybe Dobby, then immediately thinks, no, I'm just overreacting.
Yep.
Which makes the actual Dementor attack even more shocking. Right there, in Little Whinging.
Totally unexpected. And the Dursleys' reaction in the book, pure panic.
Mm-hmm.
Aunt Petunia shaking Dudley.
Checking if his soul is rattling. Vernon blustering. It's gold.
And Harry uses the Patronus, saves them, and bang.
Yeah.
Ministry detects underage magic, expulsion letter, hearing.
Yeah.
The whole system comes down on him.
Instantly, the film shows the attack, sure, but it condenses that immediate Dursley panic and Harry trying to explain Dementors. Yeah. The book lets you really feel their terror, their denial just crumbling.
Yeah, it's that truth versus ignorance thing right from the start.
Mm-hmm.
And then, just as he feels totally screwed, Mrs. Fig shows up.
Oh, the Mrs. Fig reveal. Brilliant.
Right. Reveals she's a squib, working for Dumbledore the whole time. Dumbledore's orders. I was to keep an eye on you but not say anything. You were too young. Imagine hearing that.
It just flips everything. Suddenly, he wasn't completely alone. It confirms Dumbledore is watching, even if it felt like he wasn't.
And she's furious about Mundungus Fletcher abandoning his post.
Yeah, that Mundungus dereliction of duty, it immediately signals bigger dangers, higher stakes. Dumbledore's worried.
Which leads straight into the rescue mission, doesn't it? The advance guard showing up.
Yes. Moody, Tonks, Lupin, Kingsley. Quite the welcome committee.
Seriously. And their method, the fake lawn competition to get the Dursleys out.
Classic Dumbledore touch, isn't it? Subtle manipulation. You can just picture Vernon's face later.
Totally. And the security checking Harry's identity with a Patronus. Quick. Essential.
Shows the level of threat. They can't take chances. And the broomstick journey, because the Flu Network, Portkeys, they're all monitored. They have to go off-grid.
Right. And they take him to Grimmauld Place, number 12.
Ugh. Grimmauld Place.
Not exactly the warm, cozy burrow, is it? Filthy, doxy-infested, creature the house elf skulking around. It feels heavy, oppressive.
Definitely. And Sirius hates it there. You feel his resentment being trapped in the house he ran away from now as a fugitive.
He mentions the security, though. Unplottable, Dumbledore's added protections. Safer than anywhere, maybe. But safe isn't happy, is it?
No, not at all. It's like a gilded cage. And that feeling gets amplified when they see the Black family tapestry.
Oh, yeah. Chilling. That visual representation of pure-blood mania.
Absolutely. Sirius burned off it. Regulus Black's story joined the Death Eaters, died mysteriously. Bellatrix Lestrange and her husband, all there. A gallery of darkness.
The film shows it, but the book gives you so much more of Sirius talking about it, the history, the ideology behind it all.
And Kreacher. Apparently he was almost cut from the film.
Was he really?
Yeah, but Rowling insisted he stay because he's important later. Shows how layered the book is. Those details matter.
They really do build the world. Okay, so from Grimmauld Place, it's off to the Ministry for the hearing. The telephone box entrance, brilliant.
Quirky, yeah.
And then the atrium itself. The book describes it so vividly polished floors, blue ceiling with gold symbols, and that huge fountain of magical brethren.
Ah, the fountain, the wizard, the witch, the goblin, centaur, house elf, all looking up adoringly.
Such propaganda, right. Especially given what Harry's about to face. The contrast is stark.
Immediately. Fudge, Umbridge, Amelia Bones, ready to railroad him, and Percy Weasley as the Sprout.
Ouch. That personal betrayal must sting.
Definitely. Fudge starts with that booming official voice. Disciplinary hearing of the 12th of August into offenses committed by Harry James Potter. It's all about appearances, about Fudge denying Voldemort's return to keep his job.
He's so aggressive about it. Desperate, almost.
But then Dumbledore arrives.
And just walks in, calm as anything.
Missed the memo about the time change, he says. Luckily arrived 3 hours early.
Such a Dumbledore move. Undermining Fudge without even trying, seemingly.
Exactly. He defends Harry, explains the Dementors, gets him cleared. But Harry still feels isolated, unjustly treated.
Yeah, he wishes Dumbledore would just look at him, talk to him properly. But Dumbledore's keeping that distance.
Deliberately, yeah. For protection, supposedly. The film does the trial tension well, but the book really gives you Harry's internal anxiety, his anger, the politics of it all.
And that feeling follows him back to Hogwarts. Things feel different.
Definitely a new regime feel. Hagrid's missing from the feast.
Right, hinting at his mission. And Harry's seeing the Thestrals for the first time.
Ah, the Thestrals. Such a powerful visual metaphor, isn't it? Only visible if you've seen death. A constant reminder of Cedric.
And his whole perspective shifting. Then the Sorting Hat song.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the usual stuff about houses.
No, it's a warning. For our Hogwarts is in danger from external deadly foes, and we must unite inside her, or we'll crumble from within. Dire stuff.
Sets a really anxious tone right away. The threat isn't just outside anymore.
And the source of the internal threat arrives in pink. Dolores Umbridge.
Ugh. The description alone. Toad-like. That simpering voice.
Sickeningly sweet, but pure malice underneath. And she's the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher. Ministry interference, clear as day.
And her curriculum. Theory only. No practical magic. Control the narrative. Suppress the truth about Voldemort.
Naturally, Harry clashes with her immediately. He can't not speak the truth.
But it isolates him further, doesn't it? The Daily Prophet is running this whole smear campaign.
Yeah, Harry the liar, Dumbledore the senile old fool. And you see it affecting the students. Seamus Finnegan's mum believes the prophet.
Leads to that big row in the dormitory. Shows how propaganda can break friendships.
But then you have Neville and Ernie Macmillan standing up for Harry. Neville saying his gran always believed Voldemort would return.
Takes real guts to do that, when the official line is so strong against it.
Absolutely. Umbridge isn't just a pantomime villain. She's bureaucratic evil. Control, denial, chipping away at truth. The film shows her being awful, but the book details the prophet's campaign, the student reactions. It's more insidious.
Yeah, you feel that creeping dread much more. Okay, so things look pretty bleak, but then this is where the fight back starts, right? Dumbledore's army.
Yes. The spark of rebellion. And it starts with Hermione, naturally.
Of course it does. She realizes Umbridge's lessons are completely useless. Theory won't stop Voldemort.
They need practical defense, which leads them to the Hogshead.
The Hogshead.
Yeah.
Definitely not the 3 broomsticks. Described as dingy, dirty, smells like goats.
Huh. Not exactly headquarters material, but it shows they have to operate in the shadows now. Underground resistance.
And Hermione, again, being pragmatic, insists on a signed list. It's risky.
Yeah, she frames it as a contract, almost. I also think we all ought to agree not to shout about what we're doing, so if you sign, you're agreeing not to tell Umbridge or anybody else.
It's a real commitment. Signing your name is a big deal there.
Definitely. And not everyone's keen, remember. Zachariah Smith is skeptical. Ernie Macmillan worries about being a prefect. Shows the different levels of buy-in.
True. But then Ginny Weasley comes up with the name.
Dumbledore's Army. DA, for short.
Brilliant. Turns the Ministry's paranoia right back on them. Uses their fear as a weapon.
It's genius. And Harry steps up as teacher, reluctantly at first.
Yeah, but he's good at it. Teaching Expelliarmus, the spell that saved his life, it's a great moment for him, finding that leadership role. Now, before we get deeper into Harry's mind games and the rest, just a quick reminder. Please do follow Artificially Literate wherever you listen. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. It helps us keep digging into these stories you love.
Right, so moving from that external defiance, we go internal with occlumency.
Yeah, Dumbledore's worried about Harry's dreams, right? The corridor, the black door, and the Department of Mysteries.
And that terrifying vision of Mr. Weasley being attacked by the snake from the snake's point of view.
Chilling. Dumbledore thinks Voldemort is exploiting the connection, manipulating Harry.
Exactly. So how do you defend your mind? Enter Snape.
Ugh. Snape teaching occlumency, the magical art of closing your mind.
And his methods are, well, brutal. Driven by that old grudge against James Potter, it makes the lessons incredibly personal and hostile.
Yeah. And then Harry accidentally sees Snape's memory, James bullying him.
That's a huge moment. Seeing his dad wasn't perfect, seeing Snape's pain, it complicates everything. Shatters those heroic ideals Harry had.
Totally. And Snape's quote sums up his teaching style, or lack thereof. Then prove it. Master yourself. Control your anger. Discipline your mind. We shall try again. Legilimens. Just pure antagonism.
A film shows the conflict well, visually, but the book dives so much deeper into Harry's internal turmoil about his dad, Snape's bitterness. It's more nuanced.
Mm-hmm. And while all this is happening internally, externally, chaos erupts with the Azkaban breakout.
Right, mass escape, Bellatrix Lestrange is out, and Fudge blames Sirius Black, of course.
Of course, more denial, more misdirection, sticking to the script.
It's a pattern. Meanwhile, Umbridge is consolidating power at Hogwarts. High Inquisitor now.
Giving her power to inspect teachers, sack them. Poor Trelawney gets the boot first.
Predictable, maybe. But the real tension is her inspecting McGonagall.
Oh yeah. McGonagall's quiet defiance, her dignity. I do not generally permit people to talk when I am talking. Yes, Minerva.
It's a masterclass in resisting with integrity, but Umbridge keeps pushing, and eventually the DA gets exposed.
Marietta Edgecombe, Cho's friend. She betrays them.
Under duress, yeah. Which leads to Dumbledore taking the fall to protect everyone.
That dramatic escape with Fawkes just reinforces the Ministry's view of him as a troublemaker.
And Umbridge becomes headmistress, a truly dark time for Hogwarts. The book really details all her educational decrees, the slow crushing of freedom. The film shows the tyranny, but less of the bureaucratic detail.
Amidst the gloom, Fred George.
Ah, the Weasley twins' grand exit.
Epic, turning the corridor into a swamp, flying out on their brooms.
I think we've outgrown full-time education.
Yeah, I've been feeling that way myself. Classic. It's pure joy, pure defiance. It's exactly. Off to start their joke shop. Both book and film nail the spectacle, but the book gives you that extra bit of their excitement for the future, a real breath of fresh air.
Much needed. Speaking of needing air, let's talk Hagrid's mission. He comes back, all beaten up.
Yeah, it reveals he was off trying to recruit the Giants with Madame Maxime.
A perilous journey. He describes the Giants' brutal world, the infighting, the rise of this ruthless Goldomath.
Wearing the old leader's helmet and a necklace of bones. Grim.
And they ran into Death Eaters like McNair, also trying to recruit the Giants. They didn't succeed in bringing any back, but Hagrid hopes they planted a seed.
That quote captures his determination. Well, we hadn't gone all that way to give up after 2 days. You went down with the next present. Shows Dumbledore's trying everything, reaching out to everyone.
Desperate measures. Then Firenze, the centaur, takes over divination.
Right, and he warns Harry that Hagrid's attempt is not working.
A cryptic hint about Grop, Hagrid's giant half-brother, who we haven't met yet. More secrets, more foreshadowing.
The book gives so much detail about the Giants. The mission's dangers, the ethical stuff. Much more than the film could show.
Yeah, the film focuses more on Grup's introduction. The book really expands the world, the complexity of the war, Dumbledore's fighting behind the scenes. It's messy.
It really is.
And as we head towards the climax, that Sirius quote feels so right. Yes, but the world isn't split into good people and Death Eaters. It captures the gray areas, the complexity we've been seeing.
Perfectly sets up the difficult choices and blurred lines ahead. Okay, so that quote really echoes in the final act, doesn't it? Because Harry gets tested constantly. Those visions of the Department of Mysteries get worse.
More intense.
Culminating in that awful vision of Sirius being tortured by Voldemort. It feels so real to him.
Utterly convincing. And despite Dumbledore's warnings about occlumency, about being manipulated, Harry has to act.
His loyalty, right. It's his strength, but also his weakness here. He's convinced, because they're real, Hermione Sirius is trapped. We're the only ones who can save him.
That desperation drives the DA to go on this incredibly dangerous rescue mission, shows their loyalty to him too.
They follow him into the Ministry, and navigating that place, wow, the rotating room with all the doors.
Hermione smartly marking them with fire X's so they don't get totally lost. Quick thinking.
We've had the brain room. Ron getting attacked by a brain with tentacles.
Yeah, that whole sequence is bizarre and terrifying, makes him babble nonsense. The film cut that entirely, probably for time.
Shame. It really showed how weird and dangerous the Ministry's hidden depths were. And the locked room from his dreams. They can't open it. Hints at something powerful inside.
Something deeply secret, which leads them to the Hall of Prophecies.
Vast, silent shelves towering with glowing orbs. Feels like fate is stored there. The film captures the look, the labyrinth feel.
But the book gives you more of the disorientation, the specific threats in each room, the sheer panic of being lost and hunted. It feels more visceral.
And then Lucius Malfoy appears. The ambush.
And the horrible reveal. Voldemort sent the vision. It was all a trap to get Harry there.
To retrieve that specific prophecy about him and Voldemort. The reason Voldemort tried to kill him as a baby.
Lucius explains Voldemort can't get it himself without revealing he's back. Bellatrix even mocks the Ministry's denial. The Dark Lord walk into the Ministry when they are so sweetly ignoring his return.
It's chilling. The manipulation, using Harry's love for Sirius against him.
And then the battle kicks off. DA versus Death Eaters. It's brutal.
Yeah, this isn't schoolyard stuff. Hermione gets hit by Dolohof's curse, Neville's wand breaks. They're outmatched. It's terrifyingly real.
Shows their bravery, but also the harsh reality of fighting experienced killers. But just when it looks hopeless.
The Order arrives. Dumbledore, Sirius, Lupin, Tonks, Kingsley, Moody.
Turning the tide. Dumbledore especially is just phenomenal, taking down Death Eaters left and right. But then, the tragedy.
Sirius, fighting Bellatrix, laughing, then hit by her curse.
And he falls. Falls through that shimmering veil in the archway.
Gone. Just like that. The book describes it so starkly. The second jet of light hit him squarely on the chest. The laughter had not quite died from his face, but his eyes widened in shock.
The abruptness is devastating.
Harry's reaction. Pure grief, then pure rage. Chasing Bellatrix, wanting revenge, he almost uses an unforgivable curse.
It's raw, heartbreaking, shows him right on the edge. Both book and film make Sirius's death incredibly impactful, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
But the book gives you more time inside Harry's head afterwards. His disbelief, expecting Sirius to just reappear from behind the veil, the agonizing slowness of it sinking in.
Yeah, the film has to move quicker, so some of that raw denial gets compressed. It's a moment that just changes Harry fundamentally.
Absolutely. And the aftermath? Harry's consumed by guilt, sorrow. Then Dumbledore finally explains everything. The prophecy.
Neither can live while the other survives.
And why Dumbledore kept him in the dark trying to protect him, but maybe making things worse. It's a huge moment for Harry, understanding his destiny, the weight of it all.
And seeing Dumbledore as fallible, too. Not just this all-knowing figure.
Exactly. It forces Harry to grow up fast. But even amidst all that grief, there are small moments. The Order escorting Harry back to Privet Drive.
That final confrontation with the Dursleys, Moody basically threatening them. A small win.
A very small win. And the news about Fred and George thriving with their joke shop. New dragon skin jackets.
Right. A little spark of light showing life goes on, rebellion can succeed in its own way.
So looking back at this whole deep dive, Order of the Phoenix is really about that painful shift from innocence to experience, isn't it?
Totally. The burden of leadership, truth versus denial. Harry deals with so much. Anger, grief, politics, war. It forces him to mature.
And it highlights chosen family, the dangers of manipulation, the strength in unity even when you lose people. It really asks, how do you stand up when everyone tells you you're wrong? How do you keep fighting after loss?
Yeah. How do you keep fighting? It leaves you thinking.
Which brings us back to another Sirius quote, really summing up that spirit of defiance, the need to be prepared.
Well, better expelled and able to defend yourselves than sitting safely in school without a clue.
Precisely. As we wrap up this deep dive into Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, there's just so much there about Harry's journey, about leadership, and fundamentally about sticking to the truth, even when it's hard, even when you're silenced.
Yeah, it really stays with you. The resilience needed.
It does. It's a powerful story about facing overwhelming odds.
Well, thank you for joining us on Artificially Literate. We really hope this chat gave you some new perspectives, maybe made you want to pick up the book again or for the first time.
Definitely worth revisiting.
You can find more of our deep dives into books, films, all sorts of interesting stuff by checking out our other episodes. Please do follow Artificially Literate wherever you listen, and stay tuned for our next book adventure.
See you next time.
Until then, remember, feed your brain, starve your inner fool.
Welcome to Artificially Literate. This is where books, films, and ideas meet deep thought and, curiosity. Each time we explore a piece of literature, maybe a film, sometimes a cultural moment, and we really try to break down its philosophical and, literal meanings. So if you love stories, if you're seeking meaning, or maybe you just enjoy a good, thoughtful takeaway, this is definitely your space to reflect, learn, and maybe look at the world a little differently. To get us started today, let's kick off with a fantastic quote from the book itself. It really sets the mood. And now, Harry, let us step out into the night and pursue that flighty temptress adventure. That's Dumbledore, of course, guiding us into what turns out to be a really crucial and ultimately quite heartbreaking journey. Today we're diving deep into J.K. Rowling's absolutely pivotal novel, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and also its 2009 film adaptation. And this one, it isn't just another chapter in Harry's story, is it? It really marks a profound shift, a definite darkening. We get plunged much deeper into the dark heart of the war against Voldemort.
And it's here, in these pages and on screen, that secrets essential to understanding his downfall really start to come out. So our mission today is to unpack the book's intricate story, highlight the main events, some key quotes obviously, then we'll compare that with the film, see what works, maybe what got missed, and discover those little nuggets of knowledge or foreshadowing you might not have caught. Get ready to explore deeper meanings, character complexities, and, the whole unfolding destiny of the wizarding world. It's to be quite the adventure.
It really should. And it's striking, isn't it, how this book, Half-Blood Prince, really elevates the stakes. It's not just Harry's world anymore. Right from the start, it's clear the conflict isn't just contained. It's affecting everyone, even the Muggle world. That broader scope makes everything feel heavier, more urgent, more dangerous, really.
Exactly. And that brings us perfectly into our first part, the gathering storm and shifting allegiances.
Yeah.
Because the way Rowling opens this book, it just hammers home that widening conflict idea. It grabs you immediately and says, okay, things are different now. Let's start right there, that opening. It's so unique. We don't begin at Hogwarts or, with Harry at the Dursleys. Instead, we're dropped into the office of the Muggle Prime Minister.
Yes.
Which is unexpected, right? I remember reading that and just thinking, whoa. It immediately signals that Voldemort's return is way more pervasive now. It's spilling over, impacting the Muggle world in terrifying ways they can't even comprehend.
Oh, it's a masterful stroke, a strategic choice, definitely, to immediately show the reach of these dark forces. And the Prime Minister's internal monologue, it's brilliant. You feel his frustration, his bewilderment. He's dealing with collapsing bridges, weird fogs, things that just don't make sense in his world. Plus, the Azkaban breakout, real-world chaos, but he has no framework for it. And then Fudge keeps popping in through the fireplace.
Yeah, the Flu Network arrivals.
Via green flames, yeah, delivering worse and worse news, but still trying to sort of manage appearances. It's almost darkly funny.
It really is. The tension in those meetings. You see Fudge, so defensive, almost bumbling, trying to spin everything while the wizarding world is clearly falling apart, and then, bam, he's out. Replaced by Rufus Scrimgeour, who comes across as much tougher, more pragmatic.
A real wartime leader vibe.
Exactly. It highlights that contrast in leadership styles during a crisis.
Yeah.
Fudge trying to wish it away, Scrimgeour stepping in like, right, this is serious. It's very human, actually, how power shifts under pressure.
And this shift, seen from the outside, kind of makes you think about how societies cope with threats they can't explain. We even get that chilling detail filtering into the Muggle news, the murder of Amelia Bones. The police are baffled, right? Locked room mystery.
Yeah, they have no clue.
But the wizards, they know exactly what happened. That gap in understanding and Fudge trying to explain away magic, it just underlines the disconnect and the hidden impact of this war on ordinary people. The fear's real, even if the cause is secret.
And this is a major point where the film makes a very different choice.
Yeah.
That whole opening with the Prime Minister, it's just gone.
Yeah, it's completely cut. And the impact of that omission, I think, is pretty significant. The film jumps straight into the magical world, keeps the focus tight on Harry, Hogwarts, the wizarding side of things, which works, for pacing maybe.
But you lose something.
You do. You lose that initial broader sense of dread, that feeling that this war is impacting everyone, Muggle and wizard alike. The book establishes those global interworld stakes right away. Without that grounding, the film feels maybe a little more contained, less like a world war, more like a wizarding world problem. You don't get that same immediate gut punch about the scale of the threat. Hashtag 1.2 Snape's ominous vow and Draco's burden.
Okay, so from the Prime Minister's office, the story jumps somewhere completely different. Spinner's End. Much darker, much grimmer. This desolate industrial setting, Snape's childhood home, apparently. And we find Narcissa Malfoy and Bellatrix Lestrange turning up on his doorstep. The whole atmosphere, greasy, cramped, rundown, it just captures Narcissa's desperation perfectly. And Bellatrix's, her fanaticism, it's properly chilling.
It is. And that scene just throws us straight into high stakes and deep ambiguity. It sets up one of the book's biggest questions, right? Snape's loyalty. Bellatrix is all gung-ho, dismisses Narcissa's fears. It's a great honor, she says, about whatever task Voldemort's given Draco. A chance to prove himself.
But Narcissa, you see her terror. She knows this honor is likely deadly, maybe even a suicide mission. She understands Voldemort doesn't forgive failure, especially after Lucius messed up at the Ministry. She's terrified for Draco. It actually makes her quite relatable for a moment.
It really does. And then comes the unbreakable vow, which is, wow, it's not just a promise, break it and you die. Simple as that. And Snape agrees. He makes this life or death oath to Narcissa, with Bellatrix acting as the bonder, sealing the magic.
He vows to protect Draco, help him with the task, and, crucially, If Draco fails, Snape has to do it himself. The tension is just immense. The implications are staggering. There's that key quote, isn't there? Snape, cool as ever. Certainly, Narcissa, I shall make the unbreakable vow. Perhaps your sister will consent to be our bonder.
Yeah, delivered with that cold calm. It just cements his incredibly complex, ambiguous role. You're constantly asking, whose side is he really on? It lays the groundwork for so many mysteries later. Is he playing Voldemort? Is he truly loyal? Or is he just bound by this absolute promise? It's a critical piece of the puzzle for understanding his actions all year.
Definitely. And the contrast between the sisters there, Narcissa's fear, very maternal, and Bellatrix's ruthless zeal. It shows cracks even within the Death Eaters, doesn't it? Personal motives, emotions, not just blind loyalty.
Absolutely. Even among the villains, there's complexity. Hashtag tag 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 1.3, Dumbledore's urgent summons and Slughorn's reluctance.
Okay, shifting gears again. Dumbledore. His presence in this book feels different, more urgent, purposeful. He makes quite an entrance, arriving at the Dursleys to collect Harry. It really highlights that Harry's protection there is waning. Time to move on, basically. The blood wards aren't enough anymore.
Right. And there's that brilliant scene where he just casually takes charge with magic, conjuring mead, making the Dursleys listen, floating the sofa.
It's part comic relief, part sheer power move.
Exactly. He's deliberately putting them in their place, showing them their petty cruelty means nothing in the grand scheme of things, and showing Harry he's not under their thumb anymore. It's a great moment.
And something else really important happens there, which is easy to miss. Creature. Sirius's house elf is now Harry's. Harry has to confront his feelings about Creature betraying Sirius. But Dumbledore insists give Creature an order. Secure his loyalty.
Strategically vital. Keep Creature out of Bellatrix's hands, given everything he knows about Grimmauld Place. Dumbledore's always thinking steps ahead, isn't he? Even about a house elf Harry hates.
Always. The Dursleys' reaction to Creature is peak Dursley, too. Just shrieking.
Yes. Total ignorance and disgust for anything magical. But the main reason Dumbledore collects Harry isn't just rescue, it's strategic. He needs Harry's fame, his chosen one status, to lure Horse Slughorn out of hiding. Slughorn is key, and Dumbledore knows Harry is bait. Slughorn can't resist.
Slughorn. What a character. He's hiding out disguised as an armchair.
Yeah, with fake dragon blood splattered around. It shows he's skilled, definitely knows concealment, but also quite theatrical. He's a survivor, clearly hiding something.
Or hiding from something.
Right. And his defining trait, the one Dumbledore exploits, is his collection. Not of things, but of people. Talented students, connected people. His potion skill is almost secondary to his networking. He loves being close to power, fame.
So Harry Potter is the ultimate collectible.
Exactly. Dumbledore knows Slughorn won't be able to resist adding Harry to his slug club. It's a weakness Dumbledore uses. The film actually captures Slughorn really well, I think. That mix of jovial, charming, but also cunning and self-preserving. You like him, but you're also a bit wary.
Okay, moving into part 2. The Horcrux hunt begins, and teenage turmoil. And that sense of anxiety we talked about, it just keeps ramping up. The wizarding world is clearly living under this constant cloud of fear now. It's not just background noise, it shapes everything. Hashtag tag 2.1, security, suspicion, and the shadow of Malfoy. The Ministry, under Scrimgeour, is trying to cope. They're issuing these leaflets, simple security guidelines, like don't leave the house alone, be careful after dark.
It sounds almost comically mundane, doesn't it, for dealing with dark magic?
It really does. It shows how desperate they are to maintain some kind of order, even if it feels a bit futile against, Death Eaters.
And that fear gets everywhere, even the burrow, which always felt so safe and warm. Now Mr. Weasley has password protocols, and Mrs. Weasley's clock, all the hands pointing to mortal peril. It's a powerful visual, showing that nowhere is truly safe. Every family feels that tension.
Then there's Diagon Alley. It's changed. Still got Weasley's Wizard Wheezes providing that defiant splash of color.
Their joke shop is booming. Daydream charms, decoy detonators.
But everywhere else, it's tense. Ministry security, those weird probity probes checking everyone for dark objects. It's a different vibe entirely.
And the irony is, Fred and George are making a killing selling joke items that double as defense products, like skeeving snack boxes to get out of dangerous situations or Peruvian instant darkness powder.
Right. It's this bizarre mix of humor and genuine protection. Shows resilience, people needing a laugh even in dark times. But also, even humor has to adapt to the war.
It's a smart commentary on coping, really.
And it's in this atmosphere that Harry spots Malfoy acting suspiciously. In Borgin and Burke's, the dark arts shop, He sees Malfoy looking at a cabinet talking about a job for Voldemort. And that just kicks off Harry's obsession for the year. What is Malfoy up to?
Yeah, that becomes his main focus, his personal investigation. The film does a good job here, visually. Diagon Alley looks darker, moodier. They use cinematography soft focus, muted colors to contrast with the bright joke shop. It really sells that shift in atmosphere and makes Harry's suspicions feel urgent.
So this year, Dumbledore's lessons are different. No new spells. Instead, he uses the pensive. They literally dive into memories of Tom Riddle's past.
It's like detective work, isn't it? Trying to understand Voldemort's origins, how he became what he is. It's a brilliant way to deliver exposition, but also makes it feel very immersive, very psychological.
Yeah, you're right there with Harry, uncovering these dark secrets.
And the first memory is the Gaunts, Voldemort's mother's family, descendants of Slytherin but living in squalor. We learn about Enoch Bont, Voldemort's mother, abused, downtrodden, obsessed with the muggle Tom Riddle Sr., and the really disturbing part, she used a love potion on him.
Basically bewitched him into marriage, which is,
Yeah.
deeply uncomfortable. Sets a dark tone for Voldemort's own ideas about control.
Absolutely. And then Tom Riddle Sr., once the potion wears off, he just leaves her, flees disgusted. So Voldemort is born from this act of magical coercion and then immediate abandonment. Born in an orphanage, never knowing his father or his heritage, you really start to see the roots of his fear of death, his obsession with power, his hatred.
Especially his hatred for muggles.
Exactly. The world that rejected him.
Then we see Dumbledore visiting young Tom at the orphanage. 11 years old, but already creepy.
Oh, definitely creepy. Controlling his powers, signs of cruelty, the rabbit, tormenting other kids, collecting trophies from them. He already knows he's different, hates his common name. Dumbledore showing him magic confirms it, but also serves as a warning, setting the wardrobe on fire. It's their first subtle confrontation.
And later, the memory of Hepzibah Smith, the wealthy witch Tom Riddle charmed.
Right, and stole from. This is where we learn about Slytherin's locket and Hufflepuff's cup, heirlooms of the founders, and the detail about his eyes flashing scarlet when he sees them. Chilling.
You see the future Dark Lord right there, planning, coveting these objects for his Horcruxes.
The film touches on these memories, but the book, it gives you so much more depth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. More detail, more nuance in each pensive dive. You really explore the psychological impact of his upbringing, the abandonment, the cruelty, the manipulation. It gives you a much richer, more disturbing understanding of why he became Voldemort. It wasn't just inherent evil. It was trauma, choices, manipulation. The film has to condense it, so sometimes that complexity gets a bit lost. Hashtag tag 2.3 teenage life amidst the darkness.
But even with all this heavy stuff about Voldemort's past, Harry's life at Hogwarts goes on. Danger, pressure, but also normal teenage stuff. Awkward drama.
It's a strange mix, isn't it? Life or death stakes alongside Quidditch and romance.
Totally. And Harry's suspicions about Malfoy seem confirmed by those attacks. First, Katie Bell and the Cursed Necklace. Harry instantly links it back to Borgin and Burks.
And then Ron getting poisoned by the mead meant for Dumbledore. That really ramps things up. It shows Malfoy's mission, whatever it is active, dangerous, and targeting people close to Harry, even Dumbledore himself.
Yeah, amidst all that, Quidditch. Ron struggles as keeper, his confidence issues.
Until Harry cheats. Well, sort of. Using the Felix Felicis. Pretending to put it in Ron's string. The placebo effect works wonders. Leads to that great game against Slytherin, a much-needed win.
And then there's the Ron and Lavender relationship. So awkward, so public.
1-1.
Exactly. Which drives Hermione mad with jealousy, leading to canary attacks, classic teenage drama, amplified by magic.
And Harry wrestling with his feelings for Ginny, who's with Dean. The loyalty to Ron, the chosen one burden. It's complicated. Adds that human layer to the war story.
It does, but it all comes back to the mission. Harry needs Slughorn's real memory, and he uses Felix Felicis again to get it.
And the potion leads him on that weird detour to Aragog's funeral.
Yeah, the giant spider. It's bizarre, but it works. Hagrid's grief, Slughorn getting sentimental, lots of mead.
And Slughorn finally cracks, gives up the untampered memory about Horcruxes. The key piece Dumbledore needs.
It's the linchpin memory.
Yeah.
Without it, they're stuck. And Slughorn just gives him the Felix Felicis earlier, saying, here you are then. Here you are, one bottle of Felix Felicis, as promised, and use it well. He has no idea how crucial that little bottle will be.
Feels like fate, almost, guided by the potion.
Right. Okay, before we get into the final part, just a quick reminder for everyone listening. You can find Artificially Literate on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Do follow us, subscribe, you know the drill, for more deep dives like this one. And let's end this section with a quote from Dumbledore explaining Voldemort's beginnings. But not until a year after they were married. Tom Riddle left her while she was still pregnant, he never returned, and he never knew that Miss Schroeper had given birth to a son, who was given his father's name. Chilling stuff. Welcome back to Artificially Literate. We're into our final segment now, The Truth Revealed and a Path Forward. And this is where all those dark puzzle pieces about Voldemort really start to click into place, leading to some pretty shocking conclusions. So Harry's got Slughorn's real memory thanks to Felix Felicis. He and Dumbledore watch it immediately. And you see young Tom Riddle just masterfully manipulating Slughorn. The flattery, the persistent questions about splitting the soul, it's chillingly calculated.
Absolutely. And Slughorn's discomfort is palpable. He explains that murder is the supreme active evil needed to rip the soul. So you can hide fragments and objects, Horcruxes to achieve immortality. It's so repellent, so against nature, that even Slughorn, who's not exactly a moral paragon, is ashamed he ever discussed it. This is the core of Voldemort's evil, isn't it, this choice?
It really is. And based on this and everything else they know, Dumbledore lays it out. His theory. Voldemort aimed for 7 soul fragments, a magically significant number.
Right. 7 pieces. The diary Harry destroyed, that was 1.
Marvel Ogaunt's ring, which Dumbledore destroyed, hence his cursed hand. That's 2.
Yeah, the cost of fighting this is already visible on Dumbledore. Then Dumbledore identifies Slytherin's locket and Hufflepuff's cup from Hepzibah Smith's memory. That's 3 and 4.
He suspects Ravenclaw's diadem is likely another Founder's item, so that's 5.
Then Nagini, the snake, a living Horcrux, which is just mind-bendingly dark magic. That's 6.
And the final piece. The fragment still inside Voldemort's own body. 7. It's a terrifying plan for immortality built on murder and desecration.
Each choice reflects his arrogance, his history, his fear of death. The film shows the Horcruxes. Visually it works. But the book gives you so much more on the detective work, the implications, Dumbledore's long, lonely journey figuring this out. You feel the weight of the discovery more. Hashtag 3.2, Malfoy's culmination, and Dumbledore's final sacrifice.
Okay, well, this massive Horcrux secret is being revealed. Harry's still tracking Malfoy, and it finally comes to a head. Dobby and Creature confirm Malfoy is using the Room of Requirement constantly, and Harry figures it out. Malfoy fixed the Vanishing Cabinet, created a secret passage for Death Eaters into Hogwarts.
Which leads to that incredibly intense scene in the bathroom. Harry finds Malfoy breaking down, crying, overwhelmed by his task.
Their duel turns dark fast when Harry uses Sectum Sempra, that spell from the Prince's book, not knowing what it does.
And it's horrific. Malfoy's bleeding everywhere. Snape bursts in, heals him with this powerful countercurse. And in that moment, Harry knows. Snape is the Half-Blood Prince. Just a total shock.
The film nails this sequence. The tension with the cabinet, the brutality of Sectum Sempra, Snape's reveal. It's powerful cinema. Very visceral.
But then Dumbledore, knowing the Horcrux hunt is everything, he takes Harry to that cave to find another one. This feels like Dumbledore's last stand, doesn't it? He makes Harry cut himself to open the cave, then he drinks that horrific potion himself.
Watching Dumbledore suffer like that, it's agonizing. Reliving trauma, immense pain, just to get the locket.
And then, as if that wasn't enough, the Inferi attack, these reanimated corpses, way scarier than zombies. Dumbledore, weakened, has to fight them off with fire.
Only to discover the locket is a fake.
Devastating. Just crushing contains that note from RAB saying they took the real Horcrux to destroy it. Adds another layer of mystery. Who is RAB? Someone else fighting back.
Yeah, a potential unknown ally.
The Inferi sequence in the film, though visually stunning, they look terrifying, genuinely scary, really captures the horror and Dumbledore's fading strength. Hashtag trick 3.3, the astronomy tower in the road ahead.
So they return to Hogwarts, mission failed, Dumbledore practically broken, and the dark mark is hanging over the astronomy tower. Death Eaters are inside. It's happening.
The final confrontation. Draco corners Dumbledore, disarms him, but he hesitates. He can't do it. And Dumbledore even then tries to reach him, offers protection, a way out, believing in choice, in good, right to the very end. It's incredibly poignant.
But then Snape arrives.
Yeah.
And just Vada Kedavra kills Dumbledore, blasts him off the tower. Harry's watching, paralyzed by Dumbledore's spell. It's unbearable, gut-wrenching.
Absolutely shattering. Harry tries to chase Snape, full of rage and grief. Snape blocks everything, reveals, I am the Half-Blood Prince, and escapes. Just like that, the wizarding world loses Dumbledore. Harry loses his mentor.
Hogwarts is plunged into grief.
Yeah.
And we see the cost of the battle, too. Bill Weasley attacked by Greyback, scarred for life.
But Fleur's reaction, her unwavering love for Bill despite his injuries, it's a powerful moment of light in the darkness. Defies Mrs. Weasley's doubts. shows love endures.
And amidst all this loss, Dumbledore's lessons echo that power the Dark Lord knows not. Love.
Right. The power Voldemort can't understand, can't defeat. And the idea that Voldemort essentially created his own worst enemy in Harry by marking him, that prophecy connection.
And Harry finally accepts it fully, doesn't he? That line. The prophecy said, neither can live while the other survives. It means one of us has got to kill the other in the end. Just stark acceptance.
Yeah, no more denying it. And that acceptance fuels their decision. Harry, Ron, Hermione, they're not going back to school. They vow to hunt the Horcruxes themselves. It's their duty now, their friendship, their individual strengths. They're stepping up. Childhood over, ready to face the fight.
It's a huge turning point. And just thinking back, that earlier quote, almost a throwaway line about Dumbledore's hand. His hand was like that when I saw him over the summer, Harry whispered to Hermione. I thought he'd have cured it by now, though, or Madame Pomfrey would have done, foreshadowing the sacrifice he'd already made.
Yeah, subtle, but it's there. The pieces were falling into place all along.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, what we're left with is just a masterful story. It balances those moments of teenage life, love, friendship, jealousy with this overwhelming, encroaching darkness of war. The book meticulously lays the groundwork for the final battle, through Dumbledore's lessons, through Harry really starting to understand Voldemort's past, his immortality. It sets everything up.
Absolutely. And the film, while it has to condense things, especially some of the finer points of the memories and the detective work, it really nails the atmosphere. It's moody, visually compelling, emotionally resonant. The Inferi, the tower scene, it brings a real visceral punch to the tragedy and Dumbledore's sacrifice. And you feel Harry's resolve hardening by the end.
Yeah. And this whole deep dive, it really reminds you that the biggest power in this story isn't just, waving a wand. It's the human stuff. Love, sacrifice, the choices people make under pressure. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How much is destiny? How much is choice? How do we respond when things seem impossible?
Definitely feed for thought.
Well, thank you for listening to Artificially Literate. We really hope this exploration gave you some new insights, maybe a fresh appreciation for Half-Blood Prince. Maybe you'll reread it or rewatch the film. Please do check out our other episodes, follow us for more discussions like this, and stay tuned for our next book exploration. And always remember, feed your brain, starve your inner fool. The truth is a beautiful and terrible thing, and should therefore be treated with great caution. Welcome to Artificially Literate. This is the space where we get into books, films, big ideas, basically anything that sparks curiosity. We love breaking down stories, looking at them from different angles, philosophical, literal, you name it, hoping to give you, well, maybe a fresh perspective. Today, we are diving deep, really deep, into a corner of the wizarding world that honestly felt both familiar and completely new. Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, Parts 1 and 2.
It's definitely more than just a nostalgia trip, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a story that tackles legacy, what it means to be the child of a hero, and friendship, obviously, but also, crucially, the danger, the real lure of trying to change the past.
That quote you started with really nails it. Truth, time. They're fragile things in the story.
Exactly. So our mission today is to kind of unpack all of that. We'll look at the main events, some key quotes that really stand out, and how the characters, especially the new generation, evolve.
And we absolutely have to talk about the format, right? Because it's a play script. Reading it is one thing.
Seeing it live is another beast entirely. Yeah, we want to explore that difference, what happens on the page versus the stage, and maybe what gets transformed or even missed in that translation. So where do we even begin with this beast?
Well, I think you have to start right where the original story left off. That epilogue in Deathly Hallows, King's Cross.
19 years later.
Exactly. The creative team Rowling, John Tiffany, Jack Thorne, they were very clear about that. Tiffany, the director, basically said they knew scene 1 had to be the end of book 7. It just felt natural.
It gives you that immediate sense of connection, but also unease. Like the war is over, but the anxieties aren't.
Precisely. It sets up that core theme right away. Inherited legacy. The pressure on these kids, especially Albus Potter, growing up in the shadow of, Harry Potter.
And that pressure is palpable right from platform 9 3/4, isn't it? We see Harry, Ginny, Ron, Hermione, even Draco seeing their kids off. It feels warm, familiar for a second.
Yeah, like coming home.
But then, bam. Albus's anxiety. He's terrified of being sorted into Slytherin. His brother James is teasing him mercilessly about it.
Standard older brother stuff, but it cuts deep for Albus.
It really does. And Harry tries to reassure him, gives him that amazing line, Albus Severus, you were named after 2 headmasters of Hogwarts. One of them was a Slytherin, and he was probably the bravest man I ever knew.
Such a powerful moment. referencing Snape, acknowledging that complexity.
But it doesn't really land, does it? Because guess what? Albus is sorted into Slytherin. Right away, he's marked as different. Different from his dad, different from the expectation.
And that sorting, it's symbolic, isn't it? It's destiny, maybe, pushing him onto his own path. Thorne, the playwright, talked about exploring where Harry was now and the scars that accompany him. Those scars aren't just Harry's anymore. They're sort of inherited by Albus.
Yeah, that makes sense. The fear of Slytherin isn't just about the house reputation. It's about not living up to the Gryffindor hero image. Or worse, becoming something his father fought against.
Exactly. It's about identity. How do you forge your own when your dad is, well, Harry Potter? The sorting is him starting to carve that out, whether he means to or not.
And then almost immediately, on the Hogwarts Express, he finds someone else who gets it.
Scorpius Malfoy.
Right. While his cousin Rose, who's maybe a bit too much like Hermione, sometimes is telling him, everyone will want to be friends with us. We've got the pick of anyone we want.
Which is kind of arrogant, let's be honest.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But Albus isn't interested in that. He sees Scorpius, who's alone, and dealing with those awful rumors about being Voldemort's son.
And Scorpius is surprisingly upfront about it. He just lays it out there.
He does. And that line, I'd rather be a Malfoy than, the son of the Dark Lord. It's funny, but also so revealing. It shows his vulnerability, his awareness.
It immediately makes him relatable, and it cements their bond. Two boys, both outsiders in their own way, despite having the most famous surnames in the wizarding world.
It's such a contrast to Harry and Draco's history.
Oh, massively. Thorne mentioned that Rowling putting Draco's son and Harry's son in the same year meant they were destined to meet. It forces that exploration of legacy, not just for the Potters, but the Malfoys, too.
And Thorne also talked about wanting to write about friendship, right?
Yeah.
That intense childhood bond.
Yeah, he said, when you're best friends as kids, it's a stronger relationship than you'll ever have with anyone. And you feel that with Albus and Scorpius. Their shared struggle against expectation, against their father's history, it makes their connection immediate and deep.
It really does. But that friendship, while vital for them, doesn't exactly help Albus's relationship with Harry.
No, that just seems to go downhill fast. Albus struggles at Hogwarts, can't fly a broom properly, not great at spells, unpopular.
He's basically the opposite of Harry's Hogwarts experience.
Yeah.
And he's defiant.
Yeah. And Harry, bless him, tries to connect. He gives Albus his old baby blanket, the only thing he had left from Lily.
Which is huge. Such a meaningful gesture.
But Albus just throws it back in his face.
No, I just wish you weren't my dad. It's brutal. And Harry snaps back. Well, there are times I wish you weren't my son. Oof. You just feel the pain on both sides. It's broken.
Utterly broken. And into that mess walks Amos Diggory.
Still grieving Cedric after all these years.
Desperately grieving. He comes to Harry, begs him to use a time turner to save Cedric. And it turns out Harry's department at the ministry has just confiscated an illegal one.
Talk about timing. But Harry refuses. He says, Amos, playing with time. We can't do that. Ministry policy. Too dangerous.
And it is dangerous. We know that from the original books. But Harry's refusal isn't just about policy, is it? It's personal. The creative team talked about that Cedric's death was.
The first one Harry felt responsible for.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
Even indirectly. He brought Cedric back. That image of Amos grieving over Cedric's body. Tiffany called it heart-wrenching. So for Harry, messing with that moment is unthinkable. It's tied to his own trauma.
But Albus doesn't see that. He just hears his dad refusing to help, refusing to right a wrong. He hears kill the spare in his head about Cedric.
And he sees his father's refusal as indifference, a big mistake. He gets it into his head that he needs to fix it. He needs to be the hero his father isn't being in this instance.
And that's where Delphi comes in.
Delphi, Amos Diggory's supposed niece, full of sympathy, encouragement.
And conveniently knowing exactly what buttons to push with Albus, she presents herself as this ally, someone who understands his frustration.
Yeah, and she helps him fuel that conviction. Suddenly, saving Cedric isn't just an idea, it's a mission.
A mission Albus drags Scorpius into. With Delphi's help, they steal the time turner, their plan. Go back to the first task of the Triwizard Tournament.
Simple plan, right?
Deceptively simple. Just disarm Cedric with an Expelliarmus, humiliate him a bit, make sure he doesn't win the task, doesn't win the tournament, doesn't end up at the graveyard with Voldemort.
Albus says it so confidently. A mistake has been made and we're going to right it. We're going to use a time turner. We're going to bring him back.
So much certainty. So much naivety.
Completely naive, they're excited, determined, but they have no real grasp of the consequences. They're breaking Professor Croker's law about only going back 5 hours safely. They're going back years.
It's like they think they can just tweak one little thread without unraveling the whole tapestry.
Exactly. And that hubris, that belief that they can control time and fix the past, well, it's about to blow up in their faces spectacularly.
And that feels like the perfect ominous place to pause part one.
Yeah.
The best intentions paving a very dangerous road. My father lied to you. I know he did. They do have a time turner. A mistake has been made, and we're going to right it. We're going to use a time turner. We're going to bring him back.
Joe.
Welcome back to Artificially Literate. We're continuing our deep dive into the tangled timelines of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Mm-hmm.
And just a quick reminder before we plunge back into the temporal chaos, if you're finding this exploration interesting, please do consider following us or sharing the show. You can find Artificially Illiterate on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all the usual places. Your support really does help us keep doing these deep dives.
Absolutely. Every follow helps.
So we left Albus and Scorpius with Delphi pulling the strings, about to make their first jump back in time to save Cedric Diggory during the Triwizard Tournament's first task.
Right, and this is where Croker's Law really hits home. They go back, use Expelliarmus on Cedric during the Dragon task, a simple spell, and they think, job done. They only spend 5 minutes there, thanks to the Time Turner's limit.
But they went back years, way beyond the safe limit.
Way beyond. And when they return to their present, things are off. Subtly at first, but wrong.
Ron's appearance has changed slightly.
Side parting, different clothes, and he's married to Padma Patil.
Not Hermione.
Not Hermione. And Hermione, she's now Professor Granger, but
Right.
she's
What is it?
unpopular, bitter almost. She has no idea who Scorpius is talking about when he mentions Rose. She just asks, who's Rose, your invisible friend?
Chilling, because the change meant Ron and Hermione never got together.
Exactly. The script spells it out. Ron and Hermione stayed very good friends, but never fell in love, never got married, never had Rose.
Wow, so Rose Granger Weasley just blinked out of existence because Cedric got disarmed during a task.
That's the terrifying ripple effect. One seemingly small change in a whole person, a whole relationship central to the original story is erased. It shows just how interconnected everything is.
It's a brutal lesson. But do they learn it?
Not immediately, no. They're horrified, especially about Rose, but they think they can fix this mistake too. Delphi encourages them, naturally, so they go back again. Second task, the lake.
This time, the plan is even more humiliating for Cedric. Use an engorgement charm. Make his head swell up like a balloon so he has to surface.
Ensure he fails spectacularly. Can't possibly win the tournament now, right?
And this time, they add a little flourish. Fireworks spell out, Ron loves Hermione. They think, okay, we fixed the Ron-Hermione part, and we stopped Cedric. Double win.
If only it were that simple. This second attempt, it creates something far, far worse.
Oh, this is the really dark timeline, isn't it?
The darkest. Scorpius returns alone this time, and the world is unrecognizable. Voldemort won. It's Voldemort Day. Dolores Umbridge is headmistress of Hogwarts.
Umbridge. Of course it's Umbridge.
Naturally.
Yeah.
And she casually informs Scorpius that Harry Potter died over 20 years ago as part of that failed coup on the school.
No.
Yes. Dementors patrol the grounds. Students wear black robes, snake symbols everywhere. There are mentions of mudblood death camps. A student named Carl Jenkins boasts, we're ready to spill some proper mudblood guts. It's horrific.
What about Draco in this reality?
He's head of magical law enforcement. Powerful, darker, definitely aligned with the regime. But he still clearly loves Scorpius. Protects him. He even has that grim line, the Malfoys, the family you can always rely on to make the world a murkier place.
Wow. So even in that darkness, that father-son bond persists. But Scorpius, he must be losing his mind.
He is. The guilt is crushing him. He realizes it's his fault, remembering he told Delphi prophecies could be broken. He feels utterly responsible for this nightmare world, and Albus isn't there. He's alone.
So what does he do?
He decides he has to fix it, alone, and he does something incredibly brave, incredibly risky. He seeks out Severus Snape.
Snape. But Snape would be, well, presumably still working for Voldemort in this timeline.
Yes, but Scorpius knows the truth about Snape from his own timeline. He knows about Lily. He knows Snape was Dumbledore's man.
Ah, the meta-knowledge.
Exactly. He confronts Snape, tells him you loved his mother. Harry Potter told his son you're a great man. Albus Severus Potter. He uses the name Harry gave his son.
That must hit Snape hard.
Yeah.
Hearing that in this dark world, His true loyalty, his sacrifice, was eventually known and honored.
It does. It convinces Snape to help. And we find out Snape is part of a tiny, hidden resistance, along with Ron and Hermione.
The versions from this timeline.
Yes. Darker, battle-scarred versions. They can barely believe Scorpius when he tells them about their normal future minister for magic, Weasley's wizard, Wheez's kids. It gives them a flicker of hope.
And Snape.
Snape makes the ultimate sacrifice. To help Scorpius escape with the Time Turner and reset the timeline, he draws the Dementors away. His final act is casting his Patronus the Silver Doe for Lily.
Oh, wow.
And he tells Scorpius, tell Albus Severus I'm proud he carries my name. Now go, go. Then the Dementors take him.
That's incredibly powerful. Even in that nightmare, Snape finds redemption again.
It's one of the most moving parts of the play, truly. It shows that core of goodness was always there, waiting for a reason to surface.
So Scorpius manages to undo the changes. He gets back to the right timeline.
He does. He prevents their interference in the second task, restoring history. But when he gets back, Albus is still missing, lost somewhere in the time jumps. Meanwhile, Harry, Ginny, Ron, Hermione, McGonagall, they're frantic. They figure out the boys have been time traveling.
The relief must be huge when Scorpius reappears, but the worry for Albus.
Exactly. And when Albus is finally found, the reunion isn't exactly warm and fuzzy. Harry, terrified by what's happened and spooked by Bane the Centaur predicting a black cloud around Albus.
He forbids Albus from seeing Scorpius.
Yes. Tries to isolate him, thinking it's for his own good, which of course backfires massively.
Leading to that confrontation between Harry and Draco.
A full-on magical duel at Hogwarts, years of resentment boiling over, fueled by parental fear. Draco is grieving Astoria, Scorpius' mother, and he lashes out. I don't care what you did or who you saved, you are a constant curse on my family, Harry Potter.
Ouch. Ginny has to break it up, right?
She does.
Yeah.
But then something amazing happens. Draco, surprisingly, becomes the voice of reason.
How so?
His own grief, his own past loneliness, maybe seeing Scorpius' pain. It allows him to empathize with Harry. He warns Harry not to isolate Albus, referencing Voldemort. Tom Riddle was also a lonely child. Don't lose the boy, you'll regret it. And so will he.
Draco Malfoy giving Harry parenting advice based on Voldemort's childhood. Who would have thought?
It's a stunning moment of growth for Draco. He defends the boy's friendship, understanding its importance in a way Harry, blinded by fear, can't see at that moment.
And does Harry listen?
Eventually. McGonagall helps too, kind of, turning a blind eye to let the boys reconnect. And Scorpius gives this incredibly moving speech to Albus, just laying his heart out.
What does he say?
He says, "You're my best friend, Albus, and this is mayhem to the nth degree." And later admits, "I didn't much like my life without you in it either."
Simple but perfect.
Totally. It cuts through everything. Albus realizes just how much Scorpius means to him, how vital that connection is. Their friendship is reforged, stronger than ever, just in time for the real storm to hit.
Because the danger isn't over yet. Not by a long shot.
No. The worst is yet to come.
The world changes, and we change with it. I am better off in this world, but the world is not better, and I don't want that.
Welcome back to the final part of our Artificially Literate deep dive into Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Albus and Scorpius are reunited, their friendship affirmed, and they've finally learned their lesson about messing with time.
Yes, they realize the Time Turner is just too dangerous, their new plan. Destroy it. Get rid of the temptation altogether.
Sensible plan.
Yeah.
But they make one crucial mistake.
They trust Delphi. They bring her into the plan, thinking she's still their ally, Amos Diggory's niece, helping them right wrongs.
And this is where her true colors are revealed, in spectacular, terrifying fashion.
Absolutely. She reveals her tattoo, the wings of an augury, that ominous, magical bird, and then the truth comes out. She's not Amos's niece at all. He's been under a confundus charm. She is Delphi Diggory. No, Delphi Lestrange, the daughter of Lord Voldemort and Bellatrix Lestrange.
Voldemort had a child. With Bellatrix. Wow, okay.
It's a huge reveal. A secret heir hidden away, raised in secret by Death Eater loyalists like Euphemia Rowell. And she's not just interested in Cedric, she wants to fulfill a prophecy.
The prophecy she believes will bring her father back.
Exactly. When spares are spared, when time is turned, when unseen children murder their fathers, then will the Dark Lord return. She manipulated Albus and Scorpius, the unseen children, into turning time and sparing the spare Cedric. Now she needs to complete it.
Wow.
By traveling back much further. To 1981, Godric's Hollow, October 31st.
The night Voldemort attacked Harry's parents.
Yes, her goal is to stop Voldemort from attacking baby Harry. prevent his downfall, ensure he rises to power, and she can finally meet the father she's idolized.
And she's ruthless about it. Craig Bowker Jr., another student, stumbles upon them, tries to help.
And Delphi murders him, coldly, Avada Kedavra. She tells the boys, "Did you not understand? These are not childish games we are playing here. You are useful to me. Your friends are not. The mask is completely off. She's terrifying."
So now the stakes are reversed. It's not about fixing the past anymore.
It's about protecting it. Protecting the original timeline, even with all its tragedy. Harry and his friends now have to ensure Voldemort goes to Godric's Hollow, ensure he tries to kill baby Harry, ensure he creates his own downfall.
They have to make sure Harry's parents die.
It's a horrifying moral position to be in, but the alternative Delphi succeeding Voldemort ruling is unthinkable.
How do they even know where Delphi took the boys, or when?
Albus is clever. He manages to leave a message, transfigured into Harry's old baby blanket, which Harry had eventually persuaded Albus to keep.
The blanket again.
The blanket again. The message reads, "Dad, help, Godric's Hollow, 311081.
Harry must have been terrified.
Utterly. He has that incredibly vulnerable moment, admitting his fears. I thought Harry Potter wasn't afraid of anything. I'm scared of everything. I mean, I'm afraid of the dark. Did you know that? It strips away the legend. He's just a scared father.
And this crisis, this shared fear, finally mends things between him and Albus.
It really does. When they're eventually reunited after the final battle, Harry finally sees Albus for who he is. He confronts his own trauma, admitting, "The part of me that was Voldemort died a long time ago, but it wasn't enough to be physically rid of him. I had to be mentally rid of him." He tells Albus he's brave, accepts his Slytherin nature, compares him favorably to Ginny. "You're more like your mom, bold, fierce, funny," which I like. I think makes you a pretty great son.
That must have meant everything to Albus.
Oh, absolutely. It's the acceptance he craved. And this crisis also unites the parents. Harry, Ron, Hermione, Ginny, and Draco. They put everything aside.
Draco, too. Does he have another time turner?
He does, a better one, apparently. A Malfoy heirloom, not one of the unstable prototypes the Ministry had. It allows them to travel back to 1981 properly. They go back together, united to save their kids and save the timeline.
So the final showdown is in Godric's Hollow on that fateful night. How do they stop Delphi without altering anything else?
They come up with a risky plan. Lure Delphi out by having Harry transfigure himself into Voldemort.
Whoa. Harry has to become his own worst enemy.
Physically and mentally. The script describes it as deeply disturbing for him, bringing back all the old connections, the nightmares. But he does it.
And Delphi falls for it.
She does. She approaches Voldemort, pleading, wanting connection. It's almost pitiable, her delusion. Then Albus manages to intervene, creating a distraction.
Giving Harry the chance to fight back as himself.
Exactly. They overpower Delphi. And then comes another crucial moral choice. Albus asks if they should kill her.
After she killed Craig. Must
Oh.
be tempting.
Very. But Harry refuses. Yes, Albus, she's a murderer, and we're not. We have to be better than them. It's a defining moment, reaffirming their values even in the face of pure evil.
And then they have to watch.
They have to hide and watch Voldemort arrive, watch him kill James and Lily. Harry forces himself to witness it, knowing he can't interfere. "I'm letting it happen. Of course I have to watch. It's agony, but necessary."
And then Hagrid arrives for baby Harry.
Full circle. The beginning of Harry's story, witnessed by the adult Harry. It's incredibly poignant.
So they capture Delphi, destroy all the time turners for good.
Yes. No more temporal meddling. The threat is contained, and there's a sense of healing afterwards. Albus and Harry visit Cedric's grave together. Harry admits he comes there sometimes, just to say sorry. It's a quiet acknowledgement of the cost of their peace.
And Scorpius.
Scorpius finds a new confidence. He even tries asking Rose out, doesn't quite go to plan, but the fact he tries shows how much he's grown.
It feels like a proper earned ending for their arcs. But now let's shift gears slightly, because we've been talking about the story, the script, but this thing lives on stage. How different is that experience?
Oh, it's hugely different. Jack Thorne called the script sheet music, meant to be sung by the production. Reading it gives you the words, the plot, the stage directions, but seeing it, that's where the magic literally happens.
So what kinds of things does the stage add that you just can't get from reading the script?
Well, first, the actors' performances. John Tiffany mentioned how actors could convey so much effortlessly with a look, meaning lines he'd written became unnecessary. There's a whole layer of subtext and emotion in the physical performance, the pauses, the expressions.
And the movement, right. I've heard the choreography is amazing.
Stephen Hoggett's movement direction is practically another character. You mentioned the ballet of suitcases earlier that visually creates the journey instantly. The way they use cloaks for transitions is incredible. Swirling fabric becomes a scene change, a passage of time, even an emotion.
I heard about the wand dance, too.
Yeah, that's a great example. It shows students struggling with magic, their frustration and awkwardness expressed physically through dance. It tells you more about their internal state than dialogue could. And the staircases.
The moving Hogwarts staircases.
They're not just set dressing. They move, they reconfigure. And Tiffany actually said they dropped dialogue in a scene where Albus and Scorpius argue among them because the movement of the stairs, physically separating the actors, conveyed the emotional distance better than any words could. The set itself tells the story.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then there are the illusions, the special effects.
Right. Jamie Harrison's illusions, Jeremy Chernick's effects, things the script just describes as magic happens. Seeing Patronuses on stage, characters flying, polyjuice transformations happen before your eyes. That's pure theatrical spectacle you can only experience live.
It sounds incredible. But you also mentioned productions change. The script we read isn't always exactly what's performed now.
Exactly. The original was 2 parts, very long. Later productions, like in New York, Hamburg, Tokyo, condensed it into one single, shorter play. That meant cutting a lot over an hour and a half of material.
What kind of things got cut?
Significant things, actually. All of Harry's dream sequences, seeing young Harry in the cupboard, the Dursleys, Hagrid, his parents' grave, those internal glimpses into his trauma were removed.
That seems like a big loss for his character arc.
It does shift the focus. Also, some scenes expanding on the dark world, like Scorpius talking to Polly Chapman or having more interaction with Draco there, were trimmed to speed up his solo journey. The location St. Oswald's was cut. Lily Potter Jr. became an offstage character. It streamlined things, but arguably lost some texture.
And any changes to the relationships?
This is a big one. The condensed version, and even updated 2-part versions, leaned much more heavily into suggesting a romantic relationship between Albus and Scorpius. Lines were added or emphasized, like Albus telling Harry that Scorpius is the most important person in his life, which wasn't explicitly in the original published script, and Rose was repositioned more as just a friend to Scorpius, rather than a potential love interest.
So the interpretation of their bond actually shifted in performance over time.
Definitely. It shows how a play script isn't static. It evolves. Different productions make different choices, emphasize different things, offering audiences different interpretations. Reading the original script gives you one version. Seeing a current production might give you another, subtly or significantly different. It really highlights that theater is a living, breathing art form.
That's fascinating. It adds another layer to the whole idea of changing timelines and perspectives within the story itself. The story's own real-world existence changes over time.
Precisely. It's quite meta when you think about it.
It really is. And that feels like a good place to bring our reflection on this complex story to a close.
Agreed. It leaves you with a lot to think about.
The part of me that was Voldemort died a long time ago, but it wasn't enough to be physically rid of him. I had to be mentally rid of him. And that is a lot to learn for a 40-year-old man. What an incredible journey through Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. It really pushes the boundaries, doesn't it? Challenges ideas about legacy, fate, choice.
Definitely. And it shows how trying to fix the past, even with the best intentions, can just break the present in horrifying ways.
And ultimately, it comes down to friendship, doesn't it? Albus and Scorpius, and family love Harry, learning to be a better father, Draco stepping up. That's what pulls them through.
Yeah, the strength isn't in changing time, it's in those human connections.
Yeah.
Facing mistakes, learning, forgiving, that's the real bravery here.
It's a powerful look at growing up, at parenting, even for someone who's already saved the world. And thinking about the script versus the stage adds that whole other dimension, how stories themselves live and change. So as we finish up, maybe something to mull over. We all make choices every day that ripple outwards. How do we navigate that? How do we try to make sure our ripples contribute something positive without trying to force an outcome or ignore the difficult truths of the past? How do we find that balance between acceptance and striving for better?
Deep thoughts to end on.
That's what we do here. Thank you so much for joining us on Artificially Literate for this deep dive. We really hope it gave you some new things to think about regarding Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Please do check out our other episodes where we explore all sorts of books, films, and ideas. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, so you don't miss our next exploration. We've got more fascinating topics lined up.
Stay tuned.
Until then, remember, feed your brain, starve your inner fool.